Prophet Marchello, Currence. So this video is going to be about the official declaration of spiritual warfare against the Americans. The official declaration of spiritual warfare against the Americans, because people have been allowed to play with us. People have been allowed to play in our lane, play in our face, as people say, playing in our face and everything like that. And it doesn't stop unless there's justice. No justice, no peace. You know, just because the police get quiet don't mean that they know it's peace. Okay, because you get quiet don't mean we gonna have peace. That's what people do. They'll get quiet, hoping you, I don't know, a sucker or something. I'm a soldier, bro. It ain't gonna be no peace until there's justice. And justice was supposed to come, in my case, in the form of monetary gain. So if I didn't get no monetary gain or monetary justice, a term I coined, monetary justice, which is justice in the form of monetary. If there's no monetary justice, there is no peace. Okay? That's that. Because you was on white boy time the whole time. Okay, so a white boy gonna think, well, we'll just make up. We'll just make up. We'll just make up with the guy. We'll just make up with the guy. We'll just make up with the guy. First of all, we was never together, so how you gonna make up with somebody that's a stranger? No, that's my logic as a black man. How you gonna make up with somebody you never was friends with? So that's what makes it even worse, because I don't know you and I don't care about you. So I never befriended you as secret societies. I never befriended those people. Okay, collectively, openly, knowing openly, collectively, and befriending you openly as a collective community, no. So how would I make up with somebody that I don't never know? I never knew. So that makes the grudge even more. That makes the animosity and the vendetta even stronger, because I don't know you. So I ain't gonna. Why would I try to make up with somebody I never knew? It's gonna go back to not knowing you. That's what it goes to. A smart man knows, if I don't know someone, okay, I go back to not knowing you while you're trying to push in to know me. See how it gets tricky? You started out as an enemy, not knowing me. You seen who I was. Now you want to make up and know me. Don't work like that, buddy. That's what you are, not me. I know I call everything as it is, with no additives, nothing added to it, nothing taken away from it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you, and that we're gonna keep that absolutely in mind. We don't know these people. So even though you get familiar with their ways, you have not been acquainted officially with these people. Neither, most importantly, you haven't befriended these people. You haven't befriended nobody, have you? Okay, so then those are strangers to me. And they're going to remain strangers at this point. Okay, they're irrelevant. As of January 1st, 2026, secret societies are irrelevant because they're being swallowed up in the realness. They're being swallowed up in this real stuff popping off. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm getting into the spiritual warfare declaration of war. I've already been here, you know what I'm saying? But I got to differentiate myself from Christians that still act like they waving American flags, little American flags, right? I got to differentiate myself from you. You a silly person. Okay, and I don't have any problem telling you that you're a silly person. if you still think there's America is your friend or your country, you see all this stuff going on. You see all this stuff that they doing. Look at it for what it is. Whether we on whoever sides or whatever, look at what they're doing. That's what you got to look at. Besides whoever side we on, whatever. Even if we ain't on the other people's side that they doing whatever they doing to, but look at what they doing. Look at what they're doing. Look at the nature of it. Okay, those are enemies to the international community. America basically has become a Nazi community. That's how I see it. They became a rogue community, no different than the Nazis. That's why, I believe most likely, looking at this present administration, World War III is going to start because of America. World War III is going to most likely start because of America. And they keep doing these things, they keep doing this, and it's going to force people to do, countries to do, nations to do what they did with Hitler in the Nazi party, the Third Reich. They're going to do the same thing. The reason why all of that happened against the Nazis was because they was a rogue community just doing what they wanted to do. In essence, Hitler was a rogue person. He was never really prestige military, honorable military. From day one, he wasn't. Okay, so whether you believe he was surrounded and he killed himself, or he went to another country, I know the history. Some people say he was surrounded and he killed himself. You know what I'm saying? Learn under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you're Hitler or on his side, but you don't break under pressure while surrounded. You know what I'm saying? Boom. That's 7 out. You don't break under pressure while surrounded. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to Hitler. But some people say he went to another country. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in South America. But anyway, whatever the case may be, he was a rogue human being. He was a rogue person from day one. And if you don't think America's becoming rogue, you listen, you gotta be delusional. You gotta be delusional. You gotta be blind. They becoming rogue. Rogue to the way everybody do things and what people expect of a country. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Is for you to be rogue of what people expect of you. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. It don't have to be to an extreme like Hitler putting people in the camp. It don't have to be to that extreme. All it has to be is a consistent pattern of being rogue, and people will invade you eventually. That's all that's gonna happen. This arrogant attitude, nobody's tolerating it no more. Nobody's tolerating it. We smell blood. We can see the incompetency of Americans. And most American community can see the incompetency of these secret societies. They right there with them. I'm sorry you thought I was on your side, but you a clown. Now that I'm on top, you can't be serious thinking me and you side by side, bro. You tripping. This ain't your entertainment. This don't pertain to you. It has nothing to do with you. You was over there, you utilized these same people we talking about. You the one that utilized them. See, you gonna realize that fraternity ticket, movie ticket you got, that fraternity movie ticket where you got access to this and everywhere, like this little AMC ticket, you don't have access here. You don't have access here, buddy. You're repelled, you're banished, you're rebuked. We don't coexist with you as a secret society. You could be right here. I don't care. I don't coexist with you. It's your fault. I mean, that's why my situation's so beautiful. It's their fault. Because you're going to act like, oh, well, they don't know who we are. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. So you could go, other people, it might be the case, where they just assume things about you and just hated you from what they heard. No, over here, with me, particularly, you played with me, and that's why it's your fault, and that's that. And you ain't gonna be able to ever change that narrative to where I'm some conspiracy theorist just hating secret societies for no reason. That's what you want it to be. Like I'm some ignorant person that's not aware of what these secret societies are. Nope. You play with me, and that's why we hate you. Okay, that's why. Okay, so that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. And so the Americans are falling. And no one's scared of them like they used to be. Nobody's scared of the Americans like they used to be. Because what you're going to see is all you got to do is give them enough rope and they going to hang themselves. Can't you see that? Give them enough rope and they going to hang themselves. That's all. With this present administration, they're going to hang themselves. They are. They're going to hang themselves. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is pay attention to that. They're going to hang themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is still, keep in mind, this is still less than a whole year. This ain't even a full year. You got 3 more years left of Trump's administration. In other words, you got 3 times more than what we've already experienced coming right down the pipe. 3 times more. You got 3 more portions of the same thing that you got. Which, keep in mind, consider that's going to be progressive. Keep in mind that's going to be progressive to what we already got. It's going to be progressive, which means it's going to be worse. It's going to be built on what we already have going on. It's going to be progressive of what is already going on. Can you imagine the progressive nature of events based on already just less of a year of what's already going on? 3 more years of what's already here going progressively in 3 more years. Can you imagine this? 3 more years progressively? All this stuff going on. That's what you got to face, man. So what I feel is this country is going to be rogue because of Trump. They like that rogue feeling. It makes them feel tough, don't it? This rogue feeling like they doing all this stuff. Okay, until the international community comes in and do something about it. You can pay attention. They think they tough. They think they bad. Okay, but see, what America is going to realize, all that has to happen is the world has to turn against you and it's over. If the world turns against you, it is over. No differently than if your population turned against you, it's over. They already doing that. But if the world turns against you, it's over. It's a lost cause. That's what's going to happen. With every passing day, the world stage is becoming more isolated and separated from the Americans. That's what's happening. So how we gonna skin this cat? Is we gonna let the Americans hang themselves while we play our spiritual position. Let them hang themselves. So you ain't gonna ever see us be like terrorists, because I don't feel, this is how you know, because I don't feel that a terrorist method is effective. Blowing up a mall or blowing up some random building, but you still got millions of people here. It makes a statement, but it's not effective. It's a difference between making a statement and being effective. I believe in being effective. And the most effective method is spirituality. God, being connected to God, letting God handle these people. That's ultimately what we're doing. But we're not sitting back twiddling our thumbs like the past generations of Christianity. We're more proactive, fasting and seeking the Lord and giving offerings and not praying for these people, not lending a hand to these people. Okay? We're not playing the docile position of Christianity that was once in existence in the past generations. See, you see a Christian that's Ned Flanders. That's your problem. The American culture presented Christianity to you like we're Ned Flanders. When all we got to do is get a weapon and neutralize you as a target. whether you put a style on it, a certain funk on it, a certain fragrance on it, a certain image or style on it, who we are, all we got to do is get a certain weapon and you lose. But our weapon of choice right now happens to be where we don't even get detected by FBI or CIA or the government. But you do because of your operations of gang stalking as secret societies. That gets detected, you know. Oh, it does. It gets detected by the world community. I've already went to the UN about that. Oh, they didn't tell you that? See, as soon as you think I'm a terrorist, how I cover my butt as far as my integrity was I went to the UN, the United Nations, and I went to their website and I put in an official complaint about the Americans gang stalking their own citizens, Christian citizens. That's why I don't feel sorry for when you cry about these other people being persecuted, these other Christians being persecuted. I don't really know who they are. But all I know is we going through what we going through and ain't nobody saying nothing about it. So that's your karma, is to sit back and see that happen. I don't know, maybe it is. But the bottom line is it's happening and you feel a certain type of way about it. And we going through basically the same thing. But now you feel pain for other Christians in other parts of the world. Because it ain't no difference to me. The only reason people saying something because they African Christians. If they was European Christians, you wouldn't see nobody stand up. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't stand up. So they only standing up based off the strength of them being Nigerian. That's the only reason. If you thought it was about Christians, where you see these people standing up and going to the UN, that ain't got nothing to do with what, but them being African. That's what it is. Because, and how I know, here's the test. Do you think these black people will be saying something if it was European Christians somewhere in Ireland? You think they'll be standing up and going to the UN, these black people? No, you know they won't. You know they ain't going to no UN about no Christians in Ireland. So it ain't a Christian thing, it's African. You should know that. That's all it's about. It's more, I'm gonna put it like this, it's more that influenced the decision definitely more than anything else. I would say 85% of the reason, I would even say 90% of the reason is that you are protective over Africans. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it ain't about us though. It ain't about Christians. That's all I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to do with no Christians. It's got something to do with you trying to protect Africa. And unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you something. In the overall world, race, as the war between good and evil escalates, race is gonna be swallowed up. Because it's not gonna be about none of that. It's gonna be about good and evil. And if you ain't on God's side, we don't care what color you are. No. I don't. So you can sit up and talk that race stuff and it's going to go in one ear and out the other. Because all positions and dynamics have changed to eventually positioning everybody on good and evil. And ain't nobody going to be thinking about race because it ain't going to be no cause for it. Makes sense? There's not going to be no real cause for black people or any other color because everything's going to be swallowed up in war. There's not even going to be a society moving ahead. It's all going to be falling. So there's not going to be any cause, of course. It's going to be a wasteland. So in a wasteland, who's going to be talking about pro-black issues in a wasteland? And basically that's where you're going, in the wasteland, as far as the world. As you go in the wasteland, ain't nobody going to be talking about no black this and black that. It ain't going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. You can rally together and try to protect your family. I mean, but that's it. I mean, as far as a progressive movement and things being done for your community, no, all you can do is protect your life. and protect those of your family and community. That's all you can do. And you can barely do that with the Americans doing what they doing. I mean, what does it matter if you have 1 million guns and America's making you rogue to the whole world community? You're gonna be rogue to the whole community. This is what's gonna defeat all these people on ground level. They don't see it coming. You know, you can have all the guns in the world. I mean, you're gonna be rogue to the whole world stage as Americans. It don't matter how many guns you got. Guns is deceptive anyway. I mean, because a soldier knows this. If you got a certain amount of magazines or clips in a gun, if you overshoot a gun, it's gonna overheat and smoke. And it's not gonna be able to be shot. You ain't gonna be able to shoot it. Okay, so maybe you've been watching video games and it kind of disillusioned you or illusioned you to where you thought you'd be able to run around and shoot everybody and kill everybody. First of all, you ain't gonna have enough guns to kill any whole city or nothing. You can't even shoot down the whole city. So what would you be doing? Running around till you got shot. You ain't gonna be able to shoot it out with the whole community. That's a fantasy world. That's a sci-fi fantasy world that ain't gonna never exist. A military personnel gonna tell you it's basically hopeless, because even with your efforts of you and your guns and your family, it's still you against America. And you ain't got enough clips, you ain't got enough guns to fight the whole community. And you don't have enough ammo to fight this whole community. So even if you have a gun, it's a false security, because when the war really breaks out, you're not going to have enough ammo. You see what I'm saying? If the war really breaks out, you're not going to be able to shoot all those guns. And then how you going to have them on your person? How you going to have all these guns on your person? So it's an illusion that the more guns I get, I'm going to be protected from all these people. How? No, you're not, because let's just say the war breaks out, ringing the alarm, right? And everybody's running around shooting. Okay, first thing first, you're probably going to be at home, right? Okay, you're probably going to take as many guns, probably up to 10 to 20 guns, and put them in the car. Okay, now, being in a car, you're a moving target that anybody can easily shoot. You're better out on foot than a car. A car is too easily to shoot from different directions, you know, and put you in a bad situation. Okay, but let's just say you're in a car. Okay, so let's say you start encountering, in America, crowds and crowds of people. Okay, you're going to have to get out the car. You ain't going to be able to shoot through the windshields. You're going to have to come up. The person that's driving going to have to shoot. The person that's on the passenger going to have to shoot. Right? How you going to shoot all these people? And they ain't got, and just consider that they got guns too. That somebody in there got guns too. It's impossible. I mean, some bullet gonna hit you from the crowd. Especially if you on ground level, going squaring up with somebody, with a crowd of people. There's got to be somebody. You ain't gonna be able to shoot them all. You're not gonna be able to do that. That's a fantasy. That's a fantasy. In actual reality, those who will survive will be those who do not, who avoid direct engagement with American community. That's the people that's gonna survive. If you try to engage these people, all the whole community, you're not gonna survive. You're not gonna be able to do it. It's a fantasy. It's video games. That's a video game. When you play Call of Duty, you got unlimited clips, right? When in the real world, you got unlimited clips on your person running around. That's the part you forgot, sucker. How you gonna have unlimited clips on your person? Call of Duty, the game, let you run around with unlimited clips. That's not reality. In reality, you're gonna have at best about 10 clips if you do got that. 10 clips. You know how easy that's gonna run out? Consider your gun might jam and you might get killed playing with the gun. Consider that too. You, for whatever reason, guns jam, right? Okay, so consider your gun jam in the middle of action, military action, and you die just like that. Consider that too. Consider that your gun might overheat before you even get to 10 clips. Consider that too. And you're just going to have 10 clips. Let's just even say you have 20 clips. That's still not going to be enough. And most likely in the beginning, you're not going to make every shot count because you haven't lived long enough in that position to treasure every round. So you're just going to be spraying around. Which means you're going to lose about you're going to lose about 2 or 3 clips out of those 20 clips. You're going to lose about 2 or 3 clips altogether. Just spraying around. Not making every shot count. Consider that. Most people ain't going to make every shot count. Consider just the environments where you could trip over something or fall out of nowhere for whatever reason. You know, you got to consider the whole human experience where you could just sprain your leg, sprain your ankle. Now you can't even run. What if you just trip over something and sprain your ankle? You're not going to be able to run on that ankle. No matter how hard you try, you're going to be limping. You know how many people going to be limping running around here? Because Call of Duty ain't going to never be limping, right? Right. But in reality, if you're on the battlefield going through different terrains and geographics and infrastructure of a community, you're going to be running and jumping over hills, jumping over stuff you ain't even paying attention to, you trip over. You might trip over a block or a curb trying to shoot somebody and sprain your ankle. Think about it. If you're shooting around, looking around, and you miss a curb and you kind of hit your ankle the wrong way, and your ankle swell up, and you're immobile, you good as dead, buddy. You good as dead. These are other things that people didn't even consider. What if both of your ankles get sprung? Both of them. You done. You can't even walk. You walking like this, like a slow old man, because both of your ankles are sprung. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You can have all the guns in the world. See, that's the difference between video games and real life. You springing your ankle is a very great possibility because of vigorous, unpredictable movements and you're not paying attention to how you walking. You're paying attention more to how you shooting or trying to kill somebody. So you're less conscious of your ankles and your legs. You could break your leg. It's over with. You break your leg. You follow your leg the wrong way and break it. Call of Duty ain't gonna never show you like that. That's reality. You know how many people became casualties from breaking their legs or breaking their legs, springing their ankles, and it's over. Because all it takes is a little window where your enemy can get the upper hand and it's over with, bro. That's reality. You know what I'm saying? So you see all that, what you're dealing with? That's why it's hopeless without God. Now you see why soldiers believe in God. You know why? Because a smart soldier gonna realize, man, I can't do this on my own. This is impossible. Everything I just explained, you break your leg, you sprain your ankles, you sprain your feet, your toes, your toe gets sprung, you follow your toes the wrong way. That's messed up. Now you can't walk right. If your feet is gone, you dead. You know how easy for it is to get your feet gone? Let's look at this. You might get shot in the foot. If you get shot in the foot, it's over. Let's just say you're trying to pull your gun and you wind up shooting your foot. It's over. It's over, bro. You come out better trying to go hide out and run around and hide out and let things die down for a while. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would have to do. If you become unmobile, you will have to go hide somewhere real good, hoping that people will be so preoccupied with the war, which they will be for a certain amount of time. You will have to depend on hiding versus fighting. Okay, you know that's reality. So all this fantasy of all the guns you get and everything, I mean, you can have all the guns in the world and mess up your foot, and it's over. It don't even matter. Game over. And for most people, it will dawn on you only at that time. You won't be thinking about it like I am. You won't be thinking about it. See, me, I will be prepared for it, so I will instantly adjust once I know my foot is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Other people, it's going to dawn on them at that time, oh, I can't do nothing. The whole world going to fall apart. Because you're going to realize at that moment where I got all these guns, I can't do anything no more. It's all over. Game over. No pun intended. Game over. So, let's just put that in proper perspective. Because people got all these guns and they think, oh, I'm just going to shoot it out. Okay. First of all, if you're mobile, you're going to have 2 to 3 guns. Maybe 4. If you're on foot. Okay. What's 4 guns going to do to the whole New York City? Keep in mind, you got to make every shot count. You got to make, you can't engage. You got to be indirect with engaging. And most people going to be too stupid. You're going to engage and lose all your rounds and lose all the stuff. Me, I'm going to keep all my weapons and guns and I'm going to disengage. I'm going to run around and come out the city. I'm going to migrate out the city and come out of New York. Migrating with 4 guns unshot while everybody else is engaging. I ain't shooting no gun. I'm gonna practice running and disengagement. You know what I'm saying? And coming out of New York City. See, that's my strategy. Most of the people here with guns, you're gonna engage off the principle you got a gun. So, you need that for later. You need that for when actually things settle down. That you're still a threat. Most people too stupid. You're gonna go out there and engage. Some people gonna do it out of depression and suicide. They just, I'm just go out like this. I'm just go out there. It's gonna be millions of people that like that. I'm showing you the real reality. Me, my strategy is disengagement, avoiding the community, coming out of New York City on foot. I went city to city. I'm already trained. I've trained myself where I can walk from city to city. I've done it. I've marched from city to city, from one city limit to another city limit to another county. It wouldn't even traumatize me. Some people would be running crazy and crying. You're not together. You wouldn't be together going from city to city. You would be broken apart. You wouldn't be focused. I've done it before. So I would just leave New York on foot. I would just leave New York on foot and go down south. Before people even think about what's happening. In the first couple days, I will already be out the city on foot while people be sitting around trying to hide out in the projects, trying to hide out in New York, thinking you got plenty places to hide. And you kind of do, but then what defeats that is the dense population. You have so many different outcomes. Trying to fight here in New York, it'll be impossible. It's too many people. Somebody just come around the corner randomly like they always do, just walking around New York. You're going to have all these random people, random encounters of conflict that it's impossible for you to win. That's why when it hit the fan, when it finally ends, this community collapse in America, the first thing you got to do is leave New York City. You can't fight here unless you want to die here. And you can't stop a man from feeling that way. If you want to die here, I understand. But for those who want to survive, you got to move on. You got to come out of New York. So as soon as you see America collapse, it's already almost there, right? Because they became rogue with getting Maduro out of Venezuela. The rogue time has already begun. They're rogue. That's called rogue. That's what it is. They already rogue, man. So expect more rogue actions. Expect more rogue stuff going on. Greenland and all of that. You can see it. It's already happening. Some of these people low key admire the Nazis. They admire how rogue they was. Everything about them. We might admire that. Low key, I'm gonna keep it 100. We might admire how they humiliated and destroyed their enemies, and that's not anti-Semitic. It's just, but let's keep it 100. For most military people and everything, besides the Nazi element, besides Adolf Hitler element, and the Jewish element, which most people ain't gonna look at that. You are always you're always in awe of how he did that. How he got all those people together like that, and just this whole thing, and how he had camps and everything. it's not that, it's not the Jewish, and see, some people that's Jewish don't understand it. It's not the Jewish element, and it's not the Nazi or German element at all. It has nothing to do with that. You can't define how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I define how I feel. For me, it's just how he got that all together and how he had it functioning, where the whole, his enemies was in this whole camp and everything. It's that. It's those elements. Besides, for me as a black man, it's those elements. Besides the Jewish element, I don't even consider that. Because by the time, I mean, for me as a black man, before I even knew who Jewish people were in the world, I heard about the Nazis and the Jews, right? But I didn't really know their place in the world until you get a little older. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff is talked about being anti-Semitic, et cetera, woo, 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 right? But it's self-explanatory. You really didn't even know about the Jews to be anti-Semitic. I didn't even know about the Jews to be anti-Semitic. Many black people don't even know about the Jews to be anti-Semitic against the Jews. You know what I'm saying? You just assume that they know, or they're very conscious of the Jews, and they're really not. They're really not. They're looking at the human element of what Hitler did and how he did it and how he just got to do this for X amount of time. You know, that's what people looking at. Besides race, and that's a lot of people. That's why they go back and visit that, and they're in awe of how he did that. You know, and the Jewish and German element don't apply. You know, so I can explain myself, you know what I'm saying, for why I would go back and revisit these wars, because I revisit wars in general. But there are some people that are infatuated with the whole Nazi element, where they were, they liked, not was that they were in awe of what it was done militarily. Because you could look at what Hitler did and be impressed militarily, right? Before other elements, before you even, not even considering those other elements, man. But then there are some people who who take the world views of a Nazi. And that's what you worry about. You worry about people who take the world views of a Nazi community, where they're ready to just destroy a group of people for no apparent reason, for these superiority reasons, for these supremacy reasons. You know, there's people that take these world views, and they like the embodiment of the rogue energy of Nazis and Hitler, right? They like this rogue energy. And you can kind of see, I mean, in a roundabout way, you can kind of see, man, that white America still low key is kind of, they like to embody that rogue energy. I do believe that. They like to embody this rogue energy, man. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But that's what you look out for. That's what you look out for. And that's what I feel like is going on. It's this rogue energy, more than just the Third Reich or the Nazi energy or the paraphernalia, the swastikas and all of that. I'm talking about the rogue energy, just being rogue from the world. That's what America's heading. Just like the Nazis in World War II. Someone has to come in and do something about these people. What's the difference? And Donald Trump, some people will say he would be honored to play a modern day Hitler. If he already is infatuated with Hitler, if he's already, you know what I'm saying, and infatuated with this, having this rogue energy like Nazis and Hitler, it was that too. The rogue energy was what people like too about Hitler and the Nazis. It's this rogue energy, you know, and you can clearly see that going on, you know. You can clearly see it going on. And that's what started World War II. The rogue energy, ultimately, of Hitler and the Nazis. The world had to step in. What's the difference? You don't see the setup for America. Everybody's complaining. They trying to invade Greenland. Can't you see how they want to do what Hitler did? Invade these places, invade that place. That's what Hitler was doing. Now you see what I'm saying? You don't see the pattern. See, man, you got to remember, every race of people got their heroes. And you don't want to admit it. Low key, a lot of black people kind of admire how Hitler did what he did, right? Come on, let's be 100. Because with us, we already considered the villain anyway. So it's not hard for us to take a look at a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like Hitler, you know, because we are already demonized to the community as many black people are. Okay, with that being said, if we do that, you don't think white people low-key admire what Hitler did? Just off the strength of it. Let's just look at the strength of it without defining it. You don't think a lot of white people admire the strength of Hitler and what he did? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I know that for sure. Nobody don't want to admit it, but that's the truth. So when you see all this going on with the invasion of this and invasion of that, that's empowering these people that already admire the strength of Hitler and the rogue energy of Hitler and what he did, how he was invading Poland and invading all these places, you know, and they're being empowered right now on the same wavelength of this rogue energy that's invading throughout the world. Like the Nazis, like Hitler. Now you see what I'm talking about. I already showed you that basically Trump has a Nazi party. You can see the pattern. MAGA is the Nazi party. You don't see it that way, do you? Okay, I challenge you to look at is go check out these MAGA people. And how quick they are to do something physically to the opponents. They're already there. They're already violent. They're already there. You look at them like a whole bunch of little rednecks, but MAGA is way more sophisticated than you might realize. And this is America. They gonna strive to be more sophisticated. Especially if it's a movement with a president. You don't think that's going to sophisticate? Of course it is. Off the strength of it being a president that's behind this movement, it's going to have sophistication. Behind it being an American president, it's going to sophisticate. MAGA going to sophisticate. MAGA is more sophisticated than black people realize. MAGA is more sophisticated than Hispanic and Latinos realize, man. You know, what you looked at was these crowds of people out there. You didn't think about them on the internet, their presence on social media, on the internet, their discussions, their how they're organized behind closed doors, out the public, out in their discussions and everything, and how their mission statements, their objectives and everything. You don't know any of those things, you know, and more importantly, you don't know the temperament of their movement. You can't gauge it. You can't gauge how MAGA feels today with all this stuff that's going on and everything like that, you know. So, but let's just say it let's put it like this: if everything collapsed in America, Trump's still gonna have MAGA as his protection and security, and he can mobilize them. These people are willing to do stuff for him. Okay, so then he can mobilize these people. The only reason he ain't doing it is because he'll get in trouble with the world stage and with the Americans. That's the only reason. But if it collapses and it's just this breakdown, and Trump becomes more rogue, what his next move gonna be once he's already isolated from the world? He's gonna materialize MAGA. MAGA is going to be materialized as military or because they got veterans, they got all kind of people that are marksmen among MAGA. I just see it more clearly than everybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's already basically a third Reich type of community. You know what I'm saying? I remember when MAGA was racist, when black people would show up at these MAGA events and rallies that Trump would have, and black people would be fighting with MAGA. I remember that in the beginning. See, some of y'all got this short-term memory. Y'all don't have long-term memory. You got short-term memory. You know, and you apply it to everything that goes on. You apply it to all this stuff. You take in information like fast food. Whatever's going on for this past week and month, that's all you think about. You don't go back 2 or 3 months, 2, 3 years ago like I do. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when MAGA was racist, when rednecks. It wasn't all this Hispanic MAGA and Latino MAGA and black MAGA. It wasn't none of that going on. So the core MAGA has probably retreated from the public rallies with all these people because they racist. But they still support Trump, but they don't agree with all this because the culture came in to MAGA. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. They don't support all of that because you're gonna see the real MAGA come out. It don't matter what black people try to show up and support Trump. Ultimately, they're gonna have their objective that you are not gonna agree with. You're gonna be standing there looking at military type people, militia type people that do not have your best interest in mind, and they're gonna say, "Hey, this is how it went," like anybody else would. They're gonna say, "Well, this is how it happened." I wish I could be with everybody, but I gotta be with my people. Just like you're gonna be with black people, Trump gonna be with white people, MAGA at the end of the day. That's how you need to look at it. If you one of them people that think, oh, Trump gonna be with you, he ain't gonna be with no black people out here. If this war pops off, no. He gonna be with his white people. And you gonna be with black people in the hood getting sprayed like roaches. You ain't gonna have no way of escape. Most of you are not gonna have no way of escape. If you got a brain, you shouldn't even be in the hood. You should be going down south or in the middle of the country, getting away from the coast where different countries can blow up the coast. That's another thing. You got to get off the coast. The first thing a nuke gonna do is hit the coast. The West Coast, California, New York. This is a target for all terrorists. Everybody know that. New York City. That's the main thing they see. That's the main visuals they see. They don't know about Kansas and Iowa and Wyoming and all. They don't know nothing about that, but they do know about New York City. That's a fact. You gotta look at all your geographics according to this new time that we coming in and how people think it. You know what I'm saying? New York is always gonna be in the danger zone because it's off the visuals that people see. It's off of this being basically the capital. Low key, New York City is the capital of America. DC ain't the capital. New York City is the capital. Look at it for what it is. It's the cultural capital. It's what defines New York. It's where everything is going on. This is the capital, basically. But the Jedi mind trick is to make Washington look like the capital when really New York is the capital. Everything goes on here. Everybody looks to New York. We don't look to DC. We don't look to for what? Only when the White House and these press conferences, we don't look to DC for much of anything. We look to New York for everything. Fashion, culture, everything. It's the capital. It's the real capital of America. Low key. But it's a Jedi mind trick that people don't really say, but it is. Pay attention to it. It defines everything. It's the most dense population of the community. Look at it for what it is. I mean, it's the capital. If you went to any other country and you see New York, a New York type city versus any other city in that country, what you gonna think? That's basically the capital right there. You're gonna go to the most dense population where all the culture is popping, all this stuff, Times Square, all this stuff. You're gonna say that's the capital right there. You ain't gonna say DC is the capital. If you was in another country and you seen a DC type of city in a New York type of city, which one you gonna say the capital? DC, a DC like city, or a New York type city? You gonna say New York? That's a city like that is the capital in another country. That's all you gonna do. You gonna look at the dense population, the culture, and all of that, and everything that it represents, and how everybody keep pointing to this New York city, and that's what you gonna basically esteem as the capital. New York is basically esteemed as the capital. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, buddy. That's why it ain't gonna ever get better for this city, because the more time goes by and things get worse, put two and two together, they're gonna be targeting this. They're gonna be targeting New York. New York is gonna be a wasteland, like Escape from New York. It's gonna be. Think about it. The capital is gonna suffer first, and that capital is gonna be New York. This is about to suffer, buddy. That's common sense. If they hate you, this gonna suffer. Common sense. It's gonna suffer more than Los Angeles. New York gonna, oh yeah, of course. New York gonna be targeted more than Los Angeles. Los Angeles is not a capital. You know, it's just it's a show business rival. That's what it is. Los Angeles is a show business rival off the strength of Hollywood, and that's what makes it a show business rival and all of that. But as far as capital of what America stands for, Los Angeles ain't no capital for what America stands for. New York is. You know, more than LA. LA tried to rival the show business capital, and it's impossible. New York is just, you know, the entertainment capital, the show business capital, all of that, entertainment capital. That's what it is. It's not gonna change. And people get the most visuals of America from Times Square. That's what they Manhattan and Lower Manhattan, all of that. They ain't seeing no visuals of LA and downtown LA. Downtown LA is not really nothing going on. I done lived in downtown LA. It ain't really nothing. It's like a normal major city. That's basically just like, you know, everything's there, but it's not really like Times Square and Lower Manhattan. It ain't like that at all. Even Hollywood. I done been to Hollywood. Hollywood looks like Lower Manhattan. Hollywood looks like Lower Manhattan, but it don't move like that. It don't move like that. So I done been to Hollywood too when I was in LA. You know, I had somebody take me to Hollywood, which I'm glad they did, but you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's just understand it. You know, people try to help me along the way, but it's no help. It's no way to avoid war with people that just want to play a game for their own importance. They want to be a part of my story. I'm smart enough to know that. They want to be part. It's people that want to be part of your life, even if they're your enemies. Okay? It's a lame American subculture of people like that. And that's what destroyed your community. People that wanted to be part of my life, and God wasn't letting it happen. So now you can feel the deterioration of this community. You can feel the deterioration. You can feel it deteriorating, like cardboard with nothing in it. Like you can just punch through it. You can see the cardboard empty shell of what they used to be effective America. It's a shell of what it was. You gotta read between the front. They gonna front like they strong. They gonna front like Trump say, we're gonna be strong, we're gonna be good, we're gonna be strong. That's their mentality. You know, Trump gonna put up a front to the end. He ain't gonna say, oh, well, it's over, guys. Can you imagine his personality? He ain't gonna say, oh, it's over. Well, it's over. That's why people have so much faith in him, because he presents this confidence during this time. But that confidence is going to be defeated. It's just what it is. It's just what it is, man. Because when God decides that it's over, buddy. And you know that. That's why they moving at the speed of light. That's why they trying to manipulate, and they just digging a hole for themselves. You know, they hanging themselves. You know, because the world community sees America as rogue. They starting to become rogue. It's one thing to have bad politics in America. It's one thing that we don't agree with Trump. It's one thing that we don't agree with the Republicans. It's one thing you don't agree with the Democrats. But rogue is a whole different lane of a government. Trump in that administration is becoming rogue through going to getting, you see what I'm saying? You see the difference between bad politics, bad politician, bad president, and rogue, right? It's a whole different animal. Rogue is when you don't really consider how most people do things and feel. Right or wrong. In essence, that's what is going on right now. That's a rogue act. Why everybody acting like it's a heroic act? Is it a heroic act to you? That he went and got Maduro? No. It don't matter if he was guilty or not. You got plenty of guilty criminals. It don't make him Satan himself. I mean, if he sold drugs, I mean, even if he's guilty, it don't give you the right to go get him like an animal. I mean, drugs has been sold by America. You got drug dealers here. Won't you get these big kingpins here? That's what I'm saying. But they ain't gonna do that. You know why? See, that's it right there. You got all these big drug lords here in America selling weight, and everybody know why they ain't been investigated. Because they paying people off. They paying off people. They got to. You got to. When you become a big dog and you got big operations, you can't have no huge operations all around. Like, no, you got to pay people off. You got to get to it. You got to give them a bag. So you got drug lords. And I'm not dry snitching. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just showing you, because I ain't pointing out no people, because I don't know what people do. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not out there. I can't give you no names of anything. And I wouldn't give you no names anyway. But anyway, man, you know, people are out there and they're paying people off in America while they going out the drug deal. I mean, you ain't going to stop it as long as you got these drug lords here in America. I mean, they gonna find other ways to get drugs. Cause cocaine, you know, you can get it in other places now. You can go get other people's supply for the average drug lord. He ain't gotta go to Colombia. He can get cocaine from Mexico. It's enough cocaine for him to survive and do what he do. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's depending on if you're looking at it as principle of drug lords being able to still strive and thrive here, or you're looking at quantity of what people are doing in other countries and everything like that. But if you look at on principle of drug dealers distributing cocaine and destroying each community, I mean, you got to tackle local drug lords and by state, you know, and they're not really doing that. I mean, now imagine they apply the same principle that they applied to Maduro to these New York drug lords or these California drug lords. Imagine they apply the same principle. That's what people should be talking about right now. Well, why they ain't looking at these well-known drug lords? Because they paying people off. That's what it is. You don't think that element is still real? It got to be. How you think people gonna sell weight, kilos, without paying the cops off? That's why they dirty now. They're getting paid off more than ever. Think about it. If I give you $250,000, if I give you $250 million to just look the other way, you ain't gonna do it. If I give you a couple $1 million to just let me, and people got it like that, and I give you a couple million, that's what's going on. It's going on from city to city. If you don't think, let's put it like this. If you don't think nobody is paying cops off, you out your mind. They ain't gonna have no paper trail these days, you know, which it might be cash. They ain't gonna have no transactions which you can track. which means a lot of cash going out. Which might not even be deposited. That's a paper trail. Big deposits is a paper trail. Just money out here floating around out here in the community. That's just being used as they use it. You know what I'm saying? People with big quantities of money that you ain't gonna expect to have it. That's getting paid off. That's common sense. They getting paid off. Of course, man. Of course, they paying people off. Okay, so when you look at the principle of that, man, and the corruption that you know that go on, where police let these big drug lords coexist with them, they let them do it. They got too much technology for them not to get arrested. Okay, so what you put it together? They got millions of dollars. They pay them off. That's what they do. They might give them a couple million, 2 or 3, 4 million to pay them off. They got to. You got to do that. You got to do that. And they're going to tell you you got to do it. They're going to insinuate that you got to do that. Because they really don't want no problem with you because you got manpower and everything like that. And you could target them personally, so they ain't going to step out personally against you. But they're going to insinuate as police, you know, you got to put something in my hand. You know what I'm saying? That's common sense, man. That's why you can't trust no American police. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't. You can't. They out here in these politics in the streets and everything getting paid off. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't trust them. I don't trust them. You know, so that's how you look at them. It's just another group of installment that you can't trust. Just like you can't trust MAGA, you can't trust the Trump administration, you can't trust the American police because they're being mobilized in different ways based on politics out here. That's why definitely I can't trust them because they out here in the politics. So how I'm gonna trust the police when they gonna go with the money and they gonna go with the streets? Ironically, the police gonna go with the streets. They ain't gonna come and be on my side. No, it's too tempting to go with the money and the influence in the community. You know what I'm saying? So God's people, we out here on our own. But the beautiful part is once we get the ball rolling, we tell people just don't come back over here. You know what I'm saying? Once you see it popping over here, come on, don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. We winning. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. Just like somebody in the streets will tell you. Once we winning, man, don't come over here, man. Come on. You couldn't do it in the streets and you can't do it here. You thought because I was a Christian, you could come over here and when things get bad. Come on, man. That would make me a sucker. If you could come over here and be with me after you done played with me, it ain't gonna work, buddy. And that's my attitude. That's why you keep getting resisted. Because ain't nobody gonna let you play with them. And then you get to come back over here when we start winning. That's a sucker. That's a person that want to be popular. That's what got him out there in the first place. Now you see that I'm popular because I'm winning, right? And you want to come over here. You're a lame. You're a sucker. You should die with your people. That's what you should do. If you know you done messed up, just die with your people. That's how I see it. That's what real men do. That's what real women do. Just die with your people, bro. Don't come over here and be a sucker. You only got one life to live. If you're going to die a sucker. You're going to die like a sucker, man. You know what I'm saying? You got one life to live. Just die with your people. That's real. Because that's what I'm going to be over here with Christians. Rain, sun, or shine. You know what I'm saying? No, y'all the type of people that switch up and come over here with the winning side like suckers. We don't respect that. No. I wouldn't have you over here because as soon as I start losing, you're going to go over there with them. So I see your character, your lack of character. Why would I choose you and qualify you to be with me when if things change, you ain't going to be with me? No. I see that with your own actions, with your own people. See, you see that? You got to watch these people that will come over here and try to be on your side. When they would do the same thing if you fell off. If you fell off like they fell off, they going to go back over there. Or they just going to go away. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody like that. You already beneath the caliber of man that I am. You're supposed to die with your community. You're supposed to die. This is how it's supposed to go. You don't supposed to come over here and agree with me. You supposed to die with your community. That's what we want you to do. We want you to stop acting like you my friend. We want you to stop acting like you with us. We want you to stop agreeing with us and just go die with your community. That's where it's at. Just go die with your people, man. That's it. Don't come over here and try to win and try to be on the winning side like a little 3-year-old boy. You know what I'm saying? Go over there and die with your people, man. Yeah, go over there and die with your people. Don't come over here with that. Don't come over here with acting like you on our side and everything, trying to win, because you know it's a hot rod community. Driving around thinking they some hot rod alpha males. I can't stand them type of men. And it done played out. You ain't got no room to be an alpha male over here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no room to be a hot rod alpha male over here. You got to go back over there with your people and die like a man. Go back over there and die with your people like a woman. Like a real woman. You don't got to agree with me, because I don't care about you agreeing with me at all. That don't make sense to me. I won on my own. I got my respect out the mud. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I stood on my own. People left me for dead for real. They left me for dead, including black people. They left me for dead for real. They gave me to the wolves for real, and I survived. So we don't want no people from over there that was over there coming over here. No, that's common sense. You should know. Listen, a man. If that's the case, you think I'm retarded. You think I'm somebody you can come over, be over there with them, and then come over here and be with me. Think about that. I don't agree with that in no circumstance. Unless you got a bag, you got some money. You ain't got no money, I ain't trying to hear it. That's that simple. Of course you're going to admire me because I'm right. Of course you're going to admire me because I'm a prophet. Of course you're going to admire me because I'm spiritual. Of course you're going to admire me because I'm a black man. Okay? And that's what it is. Of course you're going to admire me. I'm a real black man from North Carolina. That's black as it gets. It don't get no blacker than that. Go ask around. For Hispanic and Latinos that don't know no better, go ask around about black people from the South. See, most Mexicans and Latinos don't know where the best black people come from America. Because you're going to think, well, they're all good people. All of them are good. That's going to be your answer. If I ask you where the best black people in America, a Hispanic or Latino person going to say, all the black people are good. Oh, that's a perfect answer. But it's not the correct answer. It's not the correct answer. You know where the best black people come from? They come from the South. Everybody know that. Except you. You might not even be concerned. So when people find out I'm from the South, what you might find, and you probably already found already, is a lot of black people ain't gonna fight me. They ain't gonna fight me because I'm from the South. We're more reverenced than we're more sacred and reverenced to black people from the South and the South in general, because that's where we started at. So we reverence the South more than the North, in New York, and in California, in the Midwest, and Chicago, and in Texas. I mean, you know, Texas is Texas, but I mean, Texas don't still get the same credibility as far as slavery and the plantations. You know, we don't think about Texas when it comes to plantations. No, we don't. We think about over here on the East Coast with South Carolina and North Carolina and in Tennessee and maybe Georgia in there, and maybe as far as Louisiana over that way. But that's far as we go is Louisiana, and all over. And then anything further than Louisiana, going out west, we don't acknowledge that as no plantation community or southern community that defines black people. Everything that comes from Louisiana on down to Florida, on up to North Carolina is all we acknowledge as most sacred among black people. That's what's most sacred. Now, Hispanic Latinos don't know that. You know, you don't really know unless you really know black. You gotta really be with black people to know this. You ain't gonna wake up one day and know, oh well, the most respected and reverenced black people who they're most protective over, who they will kill for, is people from the South. They'll kill for me. They don't care nothing about no black man up here in New York, because they feel like they already ignorant. They feel like it ain't nothing but ignorant people up here. And you justify it because of their ignorance. You know what I'm saying? But when you hear somebody like me that express my worldviews, you can tell how I was raised, and it's a confirmation that we the best. The South is the best. We got the best worldviews. If something pop off, we will be the leaders. You can't trust these shiesty New York black people. They play the games that they play. Same thing with California, same thing with the Midwest. Who will be the leader as far as black people? Some people from the South. That's it. That's all I would trust. I wouldn't even trust nobody from New York and Midwest and California. No. No leaders or no organizations. No, absolutely not. Because you've been about the dollar bill way too long for me to trust you. You know, when we go down south, people got morals, they got spirituality, they got Christianity. They understand the white man's position and they understand the black man's position very well in the South. So we gonna be the leaders, bottom line, because we still interact with this racist white man, and y'all really kind of stop interacting with him. In New York, you ain't interacting with no bona fide, what we call racist white man. You might have a white man that feel like Trump should be, white people should be over here and black people over there. That's what kind of racism you deal with, where they just want to separate you. Modern day segregation. Modern day segregation is what you deal with, where they just basically, in New York, they want you over here and over there, and they don't really want nothing to do with you. In the South, they got aggressive, proactive racism, where they still active killing people. In the South, you got to be even careful what cities you go to and towns you go to. You still got to be careful. So we gonna have more of a worldview that's more ideal than somebody up here who kind of think we still all together and they kind of cool with some of these white folks. We can't trust nobody like that. Even based off that, you kind of still cool with these white folks, like you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Racism don't stop in America, buddy. Now, that's what you need to hear. In 2026, racism don't stop. It hasn't stopped. All you did was looked at the culture. You looked at the culture, and that's what made you think this stuff stopped. Like a little teenager looking at the culture, looking at these Adidas commercials, where all the white girls and the black girls dancing all around together. That's what made you think we was together. Is an Adidas commercial. How simple can you be? An Adidas commercial made you feel like we was together. Basically, that's what made you feel we was together. How you feel about that now? With Trump in office and everything, and being rogue against Latinos, rogue, bringing him up here like a slave. That's how it looked. That's how it looked to me. From a black man from the South, it looked like he was dragging a slave. Look how he was looking and everything. Look at them pictures. Look at them images that we got. That don't look right, man. That look just like how it was. Dragging us, going and hunting us and dragging us. They love to hunt. White Americans love to hunt people, bro. You got to understand their culture. See, a Southern man gonna take, like if you was a guide in the jungle, if you had a guide for the jungle, the Southern man gonna be able to make you navigate like a guide in the jungle. A New Yorker can't make you navigate through no jungle of America. The whole thing collectively, no. He can help you navigate geographically through New York, but when it comes to the culture, the whole culture of America, and these races and ethnicities and these worldviews of racist people, these people can't make you navigate because they ain't interacting with it no more like we are. We more relevant with racism than they are. Safe to say, if you're from the South, you're more relevant as far as racism with these white people. You know what's going on that these New Yorkers don't know. They don't know what's still going on. Some of them don't know. Okay, you might see stuff in here and there, but you ain't seeing it on ground level like somebody in the South. We still know these people are still out here. And unless you go down south, not to Charlotte, go to one of them other little cities that nobody will know about and see how you get treated. Oh, they'll try to be cool, but they looking at you like a deer in headlights. Like, why are you here? Kind of look. And don't get out of pocket. Don't do nothing funny. They gonna put you in one of them small little county jails, and you better behave while you're on your way there. They don't got no problem with doing something to you. See, somebody from the north can't navigate, because see, we gonna be more vocal because we interacted with this stuff. we still interacted with it. And we know, and one thing about the South, we know ignorant black people too. You can't fool it. We up to date. We know ratchet people. You got the most ratchet people in America is Southern black people. Okay, yeah, you ain't gonna be more ratchet than that, cause they all together. That's why. And now we doing all the stuff we doing, and in these southern cities, all these black people are together, and in the South, you got all black neighborhoods with no white people, and in some cases, no Hispanic or Latinos. That's what I told y'all. You go down South, Hispanics don't know. It's all black neighborhoods. That means none of that Bronx stuff. No disrespect, but none of that Bronx, Puerto Rican and black people, none of that. Go down South and you'll see whole black neighborhoods. I'm talking about, for example, go to North Carolina and go to a little county where they got a hood, a ghetto, and go to the ghetto of an unknown county, not Charlotte. Go to an unknown ghetto, an unknown county, and find there's always going to be a ghetto because there's always going to be poverty, right? Go to a county that nobody really knows and go to the ghetto in the South. And you ain't gonna see no Hispanics, and you ain't gonna see no white people and no black ghettos in the South. It's still like that. They can't even come through there. They get robbed. Hispanic and Latinos get robbed if they come through there. I'm just keeping 100 with you. And you know white people get robbed. Anybody that's not black in these southern ghettos get robbed or worse. It's no reason for you to be there. They want to know why. Just like white people in the South, they want to know why you in their neighborhoods. It's still like that. It's still like that, man. So for Hispanic and Latino that don't know no better, you have to go down South to really see what's going on. New York is the capital. They're gonna try to present it's an illusion what's going on here. Make sense? You ain't really seeing the real America in New York City. No. Go down South and you see the real America. Where some Hispanics can't even come into black neighborhoods. They're going to say, yo, Chico. They might call you Chico. Yo, Chico, man. A good dude with a good heart like mine might say, yo, Chico, man, yo, you can't come over here, bro. You can't. You know somebody over here? Do you know somebody? And you can't come down here, man. They'll rob you, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to turn back around, bro. And if you try to go far, you try to go past that person, okay, all right. I tried to help you. That's all I could do. You go in that neighborhood and sure enough, man, somebody say, yo, man, what did Chico over here for, man? I mean, I'm talking about blocks, houses and houses of people just smoking weed, unbothered by the police because police scared to go in them neighborhoods. That kind of stuff. Where they just on the block just doing what they do. And think about a Hispanic just walk through there. So the South really became like how New York used to be in California and all of that. Man, you go through some of them neighborhoods, man, ain't no Hispanic or Latinos in them neighborhoods. Ain't no white people in most of them neighborhoods. Them real ghetto neighborhoods in the South, they sitting out on the block smoking weed, doing everything, selling crack and everything. And the police ain't even coming down there. They scared to come down there. It's scary for them. You ain't facing it, they facing it. You might say, oh, that ain't nothing. But if you a cop and they got guns, you gonna think, oh, this is a lame little city. But what's in front of you is drug dealers with guns. So they have to take it seriously. They have to take the little counties, these little black ghettos seriously, because at face value in front of you is a man with a gun. How you go? You ain't gonna say, well, this is not L.A., this is not New York. You ain't gonna say that. You got a man, you keep encountering people with guns, you gonna adjust to this being a bad neighborhood. And then guess what? You ain't gonna be coming down there. Police ain't gonna come down there unless they got to. They ain't gonna come down there unless they got to. That's the only reason they gonna come down there. Okay? Which means they gonna be left to their own devices. Smoking weed that's the main thing everybody gonna be doing. Sitting out there smoking, playing music, dancing in the streets, literally. Turning up, just doing them, right? Now imagine a Hispanic come through there. And these thirsty dudes out here, these hungry dudes out here. Imagine that. They're going to say, yo, what Chico over here? Who's that Chico right there? Don't be walking like you a stand-up guy on top of that. Like you got something going on. Don't be walking like that. Oh, what did she go over here for? Who that? I ain't seen him over. Y'all seen him over here before? Nah, we ain't seen him over here. They size you up. Oh, look like he got a little bread. Oh, go see what's that about, man. Go see that about. Oh, go call the corner store. Call the corner store. He gonna go up there, that corner store. Call them. Hey, let them check and see what that dude about. Oh yeah. Oh, he had bread. Oh, he had bread. Oh. Listen, I hate to say it, bro. We about to get him, bro. It's dudes like that, man. And it applies to other black people too. They gonna say that about you. They don't see you. They don't know you from that hood. They ain't gonna say, oh, that's a brother. They might not kill you, but they gonna rob you. They might not kill you because you black. Nah, we ain't gonna do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let him go. I mean, he ain't trying nobody over here. You know what I'm saying? Just take what he got and let him get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? But take what he got and let him get out of here. You know, but you ain't gonna come through there without getting robbed. Oh, I mean, no. Will they kill you? Oh, 'cause most black people down south, they ain't gonna do that unless you pose a threat against their community. I mean, you did something to them, okay. If you fight somebody, everybody might jump you and beat you up. Okay, that's it. They gonna walk. But if you pull a weapon on somebody, I mean, they still probably might jump you too, beat you up real bad. But if you actually shot somebody, connected with somebody, and you kill somebody, you done. If you might, in some cases, if you pull out a weapon, that's it. So I'm just letting you know. I know my geographics. Why people try to play me like I'm okie doke. I know and people around here acting like they okie doke. These Hispanic and Latinos trying to man from the South, and listen, go let the wrong people find out about it, and they ain't gonna have no love for you, cause they gonna feel like how we feel in the South. We two different communities, and ain't no reason for you to be in his politics. What you in his politics for? Cause he ain't in your neighborhood, right? So to speak. He ain't grow up with you. So why wouldn't you leave him to his own people? Oh, cause you got that American mentality, but you out here in the jungle. Well, that don't apply. That whole glitzy Adidas dancing commercial stuff y'all be seeing, them McDonald's commercials, them Burger King commercials where everybody together, that don't apply in the streets. You don't see that? It don't apply out here. So you expose yourself for not really being part of the jungle. You went off the internet, and you opposed people in a certain way that's based off of internet. That's what you did. Now go talk to black people. They gonna say, nah, well, we see Hispanic Latinos having nothing to do with no black man. I don't care nothing about the Freemasons, cause race is more powerful than organization. So they ain't gonna listen to the Freemasons too long until when they see a black man being played with. When they see a black man being played with, race is going to be more important than organization, and that's even the police organization. And we know that. You think they're gonna look at what the police talking about? The organization of the police and what they talking about me, and they ain't got no crimes and they ain't got nothing. They gonna look at my race, and that's gonna be more powerful than the police institution or anybody else for that matter. If it's more powerful than the institution of the police, how it's not more powerful than the Freemasons? We don't care nothing about no Freemasons and what they talking about. We gonna look at it's a black man being played with. We wouldn't care if it's the government. It's a black man being played with. So how much more it applies to you when you're just some weak old fraternity? We don't care nothing about that. You drop that name like it mattered to a black man. It don't matter to me. And that's that, buddy. You overbuilt yourself. You couldn't make it in the 21st century. You should have knew Freemasons wasn't gonna make it in, cause you see what I'm saying? It got too hard and too real out here. To where now you corny. Your whole approach to the whole community is corny, and nobody ain't intimidated. We don't care nothing about where you come from. We don't care nothing about what you stand for and all of that. That time is gone. You couldn't make it in the 21st century. You tried, but you couldn't. Because the reason why, we see more threats. We're used to more threats. We see more danger. We see more stuff going on. So how you going to install fear being a Freemason? We don't care nothing about that. We're not scared of it. Eventually, there's going to be more danger than a Freemason. And we gonna adjust and not be afraid of them. And that's all that happened. We ain't afraid of no Freemasons. We don't care nothing about it. Now the 20th century in the 90s and the 80s, they were scared of these people. Now it's so much done happened. 9/11 and all terrorist attacks and all this other stuff. COVID-19, we ain't scared of no Freemasons. Look at all we done been through. Who's scared of that now? And how it happened is because we got more evil in the world. We became immune to your level of evil. We became immune. We now express immunity to a Freemason. I'm immune to you. I express immunity to a Freemason. You know me. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it stands for. I don't care about the threat of it. We're fearless. We're soldiers. I don't care about the threat of it or nothing. That's the new generation. You should have knew a new generation was coming. That wasn't scared of white people and wasn't scared of no Freemasons. All they trying to do now is install more fear from white people. That's why they doing all of this, so the white man can be back on top. That's why you got white folks talking about, oh, we back, which means white people are on back. Call it what it is. White people. It ain't black people back. Black people ain't back, are they? Okay, so it's white people that's back on top, expressing white supremacy and American supremacy over the community. That's all they trying to do. Trump had to do these things in order for people to be afraid of the white man like they used to be. But it's not working for new generations like me. I'm not afraid of no white people. Everybody will say, most black people will say, if I would have been in slavery, I would have rose up against the slave master. I would have rose up against the plantation. We started talking like that even in the 90s, the late 90s. People, black men and black women would have said, I couldn't have been on that plantation because I would have killed them people. So then you already see we start expressing immunity to white people. I'm immune to white people. I'm immune to the threat of white people. I'm immune to fearing white people. I'm immune to fearing police. Okay? That's the new generation. That's what came. If we didn't get nothing else from hip hop and how it made us murder, kill, and all of that, we got immunity towards these white people and immunity towards the government and the Freemasons and all of that. We're immune to it. We express immunity. Ain't none of these young dudes scared of no Freemasons. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine these young dudes sitting around smoking weed and you come into the atmosphere, they got Dracos, AKs sitting on the table. You tell them about Freemasons, what they gonna say? It's a dated thing. That's what it is. It's dated. We don't care. They gonna say, if they come this way, they gonna get these slugs right here. They gonna catch these shots. That's what's gonna happen to them. Point blank, period. We don't care nothing about no white folks, no police, or no Freemasons. Come on this way and see what happened. That's what these youngins gonna tell you. They ain't gonna express no fear that the baby boomers expressed and scared of these Freemasons and secret societies and all of that. We immune to it. See, I'm the first generation that's immune to that. And then everything younger than my generation is immune to it. We ain't scared of no Freemasons. Everything after my generation and starting with the baby boomers, they afraid of these people. They install fear in these people because of power and everything they had. We don't care either way. Whether we live or die, we ain't scared of no Freemasons. You should have knew that was going to happen. Eventually, we're going to become immune to what you present. We're going to become immune to the power and the power of America. We became immune to the power. Hallelujah. We became immune to the power. It don't bring no fear to me. That's what happened. We now express immunity to fear in these white folks, and that's what they trying to do right now. They trying to put that back on top. That's what they doing. See, you realize you just defecated on a North Carolina black leader that was destined for the last days. That's all you did. You can see it. You can see it right now. That's all you did. You played yourself, and you let the white folks play you. Cause they seen who I was. They know. I mean, you know if somebody's some weirdo in your community. You know the difference between that and people playing with people. You can tell. If you're smart, if you're really intuitive, okay then. You just some of these black folks just expect me to follow your blueprint, and you was right there with them. Now, why would I follow you? Everybody gonna follow me because you failed. That's right? Okay, so they failed, so why would I be with them? Why would we go with their plans? Why would we follow how they think? They already washed up, they failed. Now they trying to get back on top and talk about whatever they talking about, and the smart people gonna look at it like this man came out the mud, literally, talking about something, talking better than all of us. We ain't trying to hear these other people over here. And that include rogue people in Charlotte that went rogue. You know how you went rogue? You went with these, you sold out to these secret societies. And witchcraft ain't gonna never make you, ain't gonna never be applicable to the black community. We too rooted in Christianity. You ain't gonna never have that happen. So all you are is rogue black people trying to be innovative and trying to be down with witchcraft, and that format ain't gonna work for black community. It ain't gonna ever work because it don't make sense for it to work. It ain't gonna protect you. It ain't gonna stop these white folks. What witchcraft gonna do? That part. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna do nothing, man. That's what I'm talking about. So we ain't going with that. Witchcraft ain't nothing but a malicious intent at best. Most foundationally. That's all it is. I mean, we listen, bro. We talk about moving and being mobile like Moses against these people. That's where I'm at with mine. Just in case you thought. You didn't know? Okay, I'm like Moses. I'm mobile with prophetic power. Wherever I go. That's why people trying to follow. Because you can see the prophetic umbrella where it's protection over my life wherever I'm at in the surrounding area. This is how people follow Moses, because Moses had the protection. Moses had the divine protection, and he could enforce against the authorities. He was used to enforce against the authorities. A real Moses is going to be enforcing against the authorities of America, and he got the protection. So everybody gonna come up under the umbrella. If it's raining, you gonna come up under the umbrella. Well, it's protection over here. We see everything going on, and then these plagues are coming over for them people. He enforcing on them people. We gonna go with him. Our people gonna be safe going with him. And see, that's how it happens. But here's the catch. Here's the catch 22. You gotta show respect to Moses. No, and I'm not saying that in a condescending way or racist way or a slave master way or anything like that. I'm just addressing it. You have to respect Moses. You can't just be, because, and I can show you that with the Bible. God chastised and struck a woman down with sickness, a woman, for playing around Moses. But she was part of God's people too. But she played around Moses and found out it wasn't a game. God's people can't even play with a person with an authority like Moses. You can't play with that. And you can be a Christian for real, and you still can't. Because God is well aware of who this person is. Discernment is not needed. That's 7 out. No, hold up. God, when it comes to a certain level, discernment, all that discernment game and all that stuff y'all like to do, you can't apply that to no Moses. Because God is aware of who that person is. Who are you? That's what it's looked like. And if you was close enough to God, you wouldn't be confused, would you? No. You will be able to read between the lines. You will see everything about me, where I come from. You will listen to the words out of my mouth. You will pay attention to my level of accuracy. You'll pay attention to my level of exposure, the potent exposure, showing you that America was marrying children. And ain't nobody in your community, ain't no Jay-Z, Beyonce, or Kanye West, ain't none of these leaders, ain't none of these people, these rappers in Harlem, ain't none of these Wu-Tang members said nothing about it. They talking about Wu-Tang for the kids. Wu-Tang ain't said nothing about child marriage. That's 7 out. Yeah, Wu-Tang ain't said nothing about no child marriage. So it's all this big fabrication to me. Well, why you ain't say nothing about child marriage laws? You for the kids, right? So why you ain't say nothing about it? Because the truth is, man, you are not on the same caliber as I am. and that's the facts. When it comes to exposing these Americans, saying it's a lane that they can't play with. So all black people wind up doing is instigating stuff that can't be instigated. You can't instigate this, because as soon as I talk about this, the instigation stops. Nobody feels that it's even a fight. It's not a fight against me and these people out here who you respect. They haven't done what I've done. They sat here the whole time doing nothing. I exposed the Americans on the caliber that you choose to be, not the Wu-Tang, the American community. You choose to be suckers and biased about, not recognizing the truth for what it is. See, it's one thing to be biased towards a person. It's another thing to be a sucker and be biased towards what's not biased concerning truth, right? Where even though you know I'm right, you a sucker and you won't acknowledge it. Okay, that's you. You a sucker when it comes to the truth. You're biased towards people, right? To where when the truth comes out, you listen, you ain't gonna say the truth for what it is. You a sucker. That's all it is. We don't got, listen, man, you out there jocking these people. Go ahead. Just don't listen, man. Just don't talk about the truth. Just don't talk about the highest caliber of people, because you're biased regardless. I proved I'm the highest caliber, but you're biased regardless, right? Right. So when we talk about who's the greatest, you're going to be biased no matter who it is. You're still going to be biased towards them over there. But they have not projected the greatness that I have as far as exposing these people. They don't expose America on the caliber that I do. They have never done it. You have never attacked the racist white man's value system effectively like I have. Oh, you telling him he racist? He knows he racist. That's not effectively attacking his value system. I can show you all the leaders did not effectively attack his value system. I did because once I showed him he having sex with his own children, that's it. That even though he's racist, his children are part of his value system. So once I effectively talked about child marriage laws in America, I effectively defeated the value system of racist white America. Show me another black man that effectively attacked the racist white man's value system. What things he actually care about. Because he don't care about being racist, obviously. Obviously he doesn't care about that. Now show me something else you talked about that attacks his value system. He doesn't care. It all goes back to him being a white supremacist, American supremacist, and all that stuff he don't care about. So you did not defeat him in his own mind and soul. To beat somebody, you got to beat them in their own mind and soul. And I beat all of you. You tried to do it with me, but you couldn't do it. I did it with you because you've been supporting these people that marry children. Now you're trying to act like you was rogue from them. It's too late. Secret society is trying to switch up. You utilized the Americans too much against me. You was part of them. Because all you're going to say is a fraternity. Oh, that's why we're on our own. No, you wasn't on your own. You network with the Americans. You utilized the Americans, right or wrong? Yes or no? You utilized the Americans against me, right? Okay, so then you cannot act like you can't take their liabilities or you're not part of their liabilities. And you was with these people close enough for you to utilize them and network with them and recruit them to your cause. You used Americans. Okay, so then common sense, the highest masters, is going to hold you with these people you used to be liable with the people that you used and you utilized. Okay, you ain't got the luxury of saying, well, that's why we not with them. Like a moron. You're a moron, ain't you? Well, that's why we not with them. But you was with them. But you was with them, though. But you utilized them, though. Come on, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. You another one, man, that wasn't on my level. Okay, all these fraternities, all the information you got, all these information listen, man, you was not credible as I am in what you was talking about. Okay, y'all marrying children, right? How you credible talking about pedophiles? You lack credibility, bro. You know how you lack credibility? Ain't your country marrying children? They marrying children. So how you got credibility concerning purity towards children, but you marrying children? Make it make sense for me. Make it make sense for me. You want to forget about it, I don't. Because low key, the insinuation is still that you playing with our integrity. That low key, even today. So why we gonna stop talking about it then? When low key every day, you playing around our integrity. You playing around our psychology. You playing around our spirit concerning these children and concerning other people. Okay, so then why would we stop talking about it? You ain't dealing with no idiot, bruh. Yeah, you can't find nobody like me. You ain't gonna find nobody like me. And you might not be worried about that, but you know what you need to worry about? God is on my side. I'm mobilized like a type of Moses, where there's divine protection over my life, and I'm enforcing plagues against the Americans. It's not a game. So all these clowns gonna get y'all buried. See, what's gonna happen is people gonna start enforcing on the clowns. You're gonna say enough is enough. They keep putting this lame old pressure on this person, and it's messing up the community. They're gonna start killing the Freemasons. I'm not rallying and reciting people to do it, but they're gonna start killing these secret society people because they see that you listen, you lost 1,000,000 times. All you want to do is try to get some type of a kung fu psychological war attack on me, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna be credible enough anyway. With my level of intellect, my level of exposure on the same issue with your country marrying children, can you imagine you exposing me for a psychological thought and anybody taking that seriously over y'all marrying children and you didn't even know about it? Didn't know about it. You know about it now because of me. Okay, key summary. Key summary, right? You know about it because of me. Well, we know about it because of me. And how we know you didn't know about it? Because you wouldn't have came out here if you knew about it. If you ever doubt if they knew about it, then what sense would it make to have them have come out here? What sense would it have made for them to come out here playing with somebody? That's how you know they didn't know. How you know they didn't know? Because they wouldn't have came out here. If you know this country's marrying children, they got up to 44 states, 45 states, almost the whole country at one time. They got up to 45 states of child marriage, 5 states away from the whole country. Go look at the history. Oh, they'll point to right now where they try to clean it up a little bit. Go look at the history where they got up to 45 states. That's that's 5 states away from the whole country. And that's probably with some rural countries or something. So you might as well say it was the whole country. They got up to 45 states. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, bro, how in the world are you going to come out here talking about some pedophiles when y'all got up to 45 states of marrying children? That's what it ain't. And what you gonna say? I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you got to say about it. And ain't nobody listen. All this talking, but let's talk about this. Let's hear your response to this. You ain't got one, do you? You ain't got one. You just waiting for me to contradict myself. That's a sucker. You ain't no real black man. You waiting for me to contradict myself while they marrying children. They're marrying children, but you're just waiting for some type of contradiction from me. Listen, man, that's a sucker, man, all day. I don't care what they a part of. I don't care what you claim. I don't care what you've done in your life. You a sucker now. See, a lame think, oh, we can put these people with credibility, or used to have credibility, around this person. So what? They suckers now. Oh, you can become a sucker now? Well, let's look at the streets where people start snitching. Okay, you was cool before, but you start snitching. We ain't gonna think about the credibility you had before. We gonna look at who you are now. That's on principle. We gonna look at what your principles are today. And that's based foundationally. How you know that's true is because when somebody starts snitching out there, you think they gonna look at, oh, well, this dude used to be on the block. This dude done caught a couple bodies. So what? He's snitching now. So what? He breaking his principles now. And that's all we talking about. Even people that done listen, that they'll put around me, a lame gonna do that. But they working with the Freemasons now. We don't care about it. But you stupid in the stupid position now. Where they marrying children in America, you ain't know about it, did you? See, you was never built to be here. You know how you know? Because you got body as soon as you got here. Well, you listen, it was no resistance. You had no resistance to this information. You ain't got no resistance to this information. What's your resistance? Oh, it wasn't all of us. Oh, but you shouldn't have came out here. That's what we talk about. You shouldn't have came out here, buddy. So you ain't got no resistance to this information considering your position. Your position means nothing. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's how you know I'm a prophet. That's how you know I'm a leader. I dissolve your whole position. It don't mean nothing. We don't care what you talk about. We don't care what in terms of what you talk about. They marrying children, right? Okay, so you wouldn't even got started on me if you knew this. It don't matter what they would have told you. It wouldn't have mattered. Because you would have looked at your whole country. You would have looked at your whole country with 45 states, almost the whole country marrying children. You might as well say it's the whole country. And then you was having sex with animals. Oh yeah, 4 states was having sex with animals. Oh, they tried to get rid of it. It's too late. I mean, well, this is how I look at it. If they try to talk about your history, we can't talk about their history. That's 7 out. Well, we would go back and talk about how you was having sex with animals in 4 states. We would go back and talk about how New York was marrying children. Well, you tried to go back on us. So by principle, wouldn't it be equal for us to go back on you? Not talk about what you're doing now. No, we ain't talking about what you're doing now. We ain't talking about that now. Listen, only smart people gonna understand. If you go back on time on me, and you have the luxury of going back in time, so then I can turn around and going back in time on you. So if I go back in time on you, you're in bad shape, buddy. You was marrying children in 45 states of America. That's going back in time on you, right? In more recent time than you tried to go back on time on us. This is more recent. That you had 45 states of marrying children. Now you're gonna try to clean it up like that's good enough. That's white supremacy. Well, we cleaned it up, but you still talking about stuff that you think we did 20, 30 years ago. So you can just clean it up, but you can still talk about what we done. But we can't talk about what you done because you cleaned it up. So if we apply the same principle, we would go back in time on you and you would lose. And that's what we're going to do. You had 45 states of child marriage, didn't you? Okay, boom, buddy. You was having sex with animals in 116 counties of America. 116 counties. Go look it up. 4 states had bestiality, and they tried to get rid of it. It's too late. Because all we going to do is go back in time on you. You a moron. Well, we got rid of it. So what? We're going to practice the same principle of going back in time. Then you try to go back in time with me, like back in the future. You try to go back in the future on me, didn't you? Okay, so why we can't go back in the future on you? So once you adjust and do something, we still got the luxury of going back in time on you because you tried to go back in time on us. Boom. Ow. Oh. So all we gonna all be doing is talking about the past. We can do that. We can do that. But I can talk about more recent history of you, July 1st, 2019, making new laws to marry children while Trump was in the White House. Trump won't even say nothing. Your president won't even say nothing. Trump ain't gonna say nothing about no child marriage because he don't want to open the whole can of worms so you can see the whole history. That's the reason why. If you don't know why he ain't gonna talk about it, because if he do, everybody gonna go back in time and see, oh, we was marrying children the whole time. And you're gonna realize the real America right before your very eyes. Your whole image of America is going to dissolve right there. You can't unhear it. You can't unsee it. You've been marrying children. since 1929. Almost 100 years. You've been marrying children for almost 100 years. Okay? You've been marrying children for almost 100 years. You've been marrying children almost 100 years. You've been marrying children too long, buddy, to be come out here playing with us. Now, prophet done bodied you, ain't nothing you can say, because I know you as an American, you got a problem with that. I know that. I know that. You trying to hide it, but you got a problem with it, don't you? You do. I know you do. You know how I know? Because I know the world views of America. I'm right here with you. So so the way my worldviews have been groomed and formed, yours have too. And I know you got a problem with them marrying children, coming out here talking about pedophiles. Just like that. Just as I said it. They marrying children as a community, coming out here talking about a pedophile, a real American got a problem with it. And that's all I need. That's all I need. It's for them to have a problem with it, buddy. And you're going to be in trouble as Freemasons and other secret societies. Because they're going to look at it like, man, listen, this dude is better than you. By quality. His quality is higher than yours. He exposed things that you don't want to acknowledge. Because you thought he was just a poor little boy. But the truth is, he exposed stuff that your daddy didn't even expose. Your Freemason daddy didn't even expose this. So whether you like it or not, this man is better than you. Okay? You just got so comfortable with esteeming him as a bum. Listen, he hit you with a haymaker and you don't want to accept it. You want to keep him in that bum mode so bad that you can't accept that he's just done something more credible than even Donald Trump. You see? You're locked into this who you wanted me to be for the community that you can't even accept. That, listen, I'm greater than Donald Trump. Well, Trump ain't saying nothing about this child marriage, has he? Trump ain't saying nothing about child marriage laws in America, has he? He ain't saying nothing about it, has he? Okay, until he does, I'm greater than him. Well, if you a man, as you project yourself to be, you will be able to confront this. Why Trump can't even have no conversation with me? So how you can? How can a bum can? Some bum in a shelter. How you gonna have a conversation with me, buddy? Listen, you in a dream world. I can body your president. You're nothing. Hey, what? There's nothing there. There's nothing for you to do here. Your president can't even have this conversation, let alone you, let alone a dumb Freemason, a bummy Freemason. You can't be serious. And that's what we are, buddy. Welcome to the real world, where God still rules. Not Freemason, God. Yahweh. Not you, Yahweh. Yahweh still rules. Forever and ever. Amen. He rules forever, buddy. His reign is forever. Not subject to the Americans. Hallelujah. His reign is forever. It's not subject to Donald Trump. It's not subject to no Freemasons. As soon as you start playing with his kingdom, it's over with, buddy. You're already in trouble. The best thing you could have did was bow down to God's kingdom. That's the best thing you could have did, buddy. Because it would have been credibility for the community. They would have looked at you in a good light. The worst thing you could have did was play with God's kingdom, buddy. You did the absolute worst thing you could have done. And nothing worse you could have did. Humanly speaking. As far as the human kingdom, you did the worst thing you could have done. Listen, you ain't making me feel like you're powerful. You're nothing. I proved it. Look at this country. You're nothing, buddy. Off the strength of you marrying children and sitting there like a dumb Freemason with that stupid hat on your head. With that stupid Shriner hat on your head. I hate them hats. I hate the Shriner hats. Burn your Shriner hat. Burn it. Burn them Shriner hats to the fact that you've been marrying children. Burn your Shriner hat. It was destined to happen. They think they got all this information. They think they the best in all of this. It was bound to happen for somebody spiritual like me, for them to play in my lane, for them to think that me and them the same and me and them is brothers. You ain't my brother. You out your mind, buddy. My brother does the will of God. My mother and father does the will of God. You don't do the will of God. You mixed all these people together and let them do whatever they wanted to do and talk about me and you brothers. You out your mind. Me and you will never be brothers. Can't be serious. You are my brother. That's funny. It's actually funny to me, buddy. You make me laugh thinking you are my brother. Oh, I'm right. Oh, because I'm right, that makes me your brother? Aren't you arrogant? Aren't you a little arrogant bastard? That you think that because I'm right now, me and you brothers. Well, he's one of us. Why? Because I'm right? No, buddy, I'm your enemy. I'm your enemy. And that comes before me being right or wrong. I'm your enemy, whether I'm right or wrong, buddy. Now, see, you wasn't man enough to realize this dynamic, were you? Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm your enemy. And I'm right. And I'm your enemy. Okay? Look, buddy, let me tell you something. You as Freemasons sat here this whole time and watched this happen. And we know you did that. You sat here this whole time and said nothing about them marrying children, but came out here talking about pedophiles. You lose. Your whole credibility is gone, buddy. Because with all the knowledge that you should know, or that you know, why you didn't know about this? You can't tell me why. When it's so easy for you to know about it, that's what makes it so bad. It's so easy to figure this out. It's so easy to do a Google search, even from 2004. You could have knew this back in 2004. You could have knew about child marriage in 2004 when cell phones first really came on the scene, where you could do a Google search. Look how long phones been out. And you've had them as Freemasons, right? How long have you had phones with a Google search on it? I count over 20 years. You've had a Google search for 20 years, buddy. You've had internet for definitely for over 20 years. So if it wasn't your phone, you could have went on your computer. That part, that's 7 hours. You could have went on your computer 20 years ago. Now you see where you at, you little bastard. Listen, you see where you at, don't you? You're nothing to me, man. Listen, you're nothing. You should have, off the strength of that, and the reason why, because they came out here talking about it. How am I going to say there's nothing based on that when they came out here talking about that? Make sense? So it's not just, oh, he got this random information. You talking about he greater than us because of it. Because you came out here talking about the same category, the same subject matter, and you got bodied. If you would have been talking about anything else, you could have the luxury of saying, well, he's talking about something else that we wasn't talking about. You're not that smart, are you? You're really not. Well, I'm talking about the same thing you was talking about. I'm addressing the same thing you was talking about, right? Right. But you didn't know about it. You lose, buddy. You lose as Freemasons. And that's that. I mean, that's what God's people do. That's what we do. You ain't gonna beat us. I tell you, it's already over. For real men and real women, it's over. You marrying children in America and it's not over. You was marrying children as young as 10 years old, and right here in the United States. 10-year-old girls, while they try to tell you as teenagers, oh, what about the 10-year-old girls? This is history, right? History. We don't care. It's the technicality that a grown man shouldn't be messing around no 10-year-old girl. Not a grown man. a boy gets a pass, right? We don't agree with it, but we ain't gonna act like we don't understand children sexualizing other children. You in America had grown men marrying a 10-year-old girl. Guess how old the youngest boy was? The youngest boy was 11 years old. Married in America. He was 11. 11-year-old boy married. I mean, how you gonna get a job? That's how you know he was just sexualized. Well, he can't even work. You can't work at 11. You can't get no work permit at 11 years old. So what are you gonna be doing? Laying around having sex. That's what he's gonna be doing. Man, you should be disgusted right there, buddy. You can go look it up. The youngest boy married in America, a boy. The youngest boy, if you thought it was just girls, the youngest boy married to a woman, a filthy woman, married an 11-year-old boy. 11. He was 11 years old. You lose, buddy. I'm sorry. Glory to God. Hallelujah. Amen. You lose, buddy. You lose. You was marrying an 11-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. Case closed. You lose. Oh. Here's more. You want more? Everybody want more? Anybody want more? Anybody want mo? Anybody want mo? Anybody want mo? Anybody want some mo? Anybody want some mo? Anybody want some mo? You was having sex with 7-year-old girls by law in the state of Delaware in the year 1880. 7-year-old girls. That's the world record. The world record, the United States of America has the world record for having sex with the lowest age of children on record. That means setting a certain age. They set the lowest age for consent worldwide. You can go look. I challenge you to go look. The only thing you're going to find is where they did not set a certain age for consent. That's not the same thing. Because when you set a certain age, you're telling us what you feel is acceptable for sex. If I pull back and let you choose, how am I liable? I'm not saying what a certain age is. I'm leaving it open. I'm not saying I would do it, but I'm leaving it open, right? So you can't necessarily say I'm telling you what's acceptable for sex. We're leaving the age of consent open. But when I take and put a certain age, you're saying that age specifically is acceptable for sex. That's what you did. You had the age of 7-year-old girls, and that covers it all. That covers everything, buddy. That's all we had to do was get that, and it's over. It's over. 7-year-old girls. That's what everybody out here tripping about. About that age, ain't it? About that age. Well, why the Americans were having sex with 7-year-old girls? Oh, go look it up. Go look it up, buddy. Go look it up, buddy. Go look it up, buddy. You trying to get on the profit and you was having sex with 7-year-old girls, man. Stop playing with me, buddy. Stop playing. 7-year-old girls. 7. I had to go look up what a 7-year-old girl even looked like. I ain't even been around those 7-year-old girls in so long since I've probably been a child myself. I had to go look and see what it looked like. I didn't even know what a 7-year-old girl looked like. That's me, personally. I had to go Google and do a Google search to see what 7-year-old girls even look like. They was with 7-year-old girls sexually by law in America. Listen, buddy, listen, man, listen. How can you still be here is my thing. That's my thing, buddy. Your country having sex with 7-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls married 11-year-old boy married. 11-year-old boy married. 11-year-old boy married. And what you got to say to the prophet? What Freemason got to say? You humiliated, buddy. Stop playing with me, buddy. Even China doesn't marry children. Russia does not marry children. Russia doesn't marry no children. China doesn't marry no children. China don't marry no children. China don't got no laws to marry children. Russia don't marry no children. So how you better than Russia and you marry children? How are you better than Russia and you marry children in America? How are you better than China and you marry children in America? No, this is your standard. I know you feel the same way because I'm from here. You marry children. How are you better than Russia? So you're better than Russia overall, right? But you marry children. No, they want to do this. They want to act like they want to talk about children. Listen, we gonna go hardcore, man. You marry children. How you better than Russia? So this is a yes or no question. Are you better than Russia even though you're marrying children? Yes or no? Yes or no? You're better than Russia and you're marrying children. You're better than China and you're marrying children. So what's it based off of? Oh, the military. Oh, well, don't the military got the age of consent at 16 years old when all military can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys? Oh, the military. The military. The military. Hey, the military got the age of consent at 16 years old. Military can have sex with 16-year-old girls. Military of America can have sex with 16-year-old boy. 16-year-old boy. Military can have sex with 16-year-old boy and girl. Oh, it's true. Under the UCMJ program, which stands for the Uniform Code of Military Justice, the age of consent is set for 16 years old for all military American personnel. Oh, go look it up. Go look it up. Go look it up. I'll tell you, listen, the prophet ain't got no conspiracy theories. You ain't gonna hear me talk about UFOs, Bigfoot, Area 51, or Bohemian Grove, or none of that other stuff. That's why I barely talk about secret societies. I ain't talking about none of that stuff. I don't care about it. I'm too off in this real stuff. The prophet gonna be off in this real stuff. The prophet gonna be off in this real stuff. Under the UCMJ program in the military, which if you don't know, the UCMJ program determines the age of consent for all military personnel that's active, that's enlisted into the military. This installment determines the age of consent for all. That means the generals, the lieutenants, Navy SEALs, Green Beret, all of that. Jackals, Air Force, Air Force, Air Force, Air Force. The UCMJ program, which stands for, it's an abbreviation, UCMJ. It stands for Uniform Code of Military Justice.
This installment has set the age of consent for all American personnel of the military at 16 years old, buddy. Boom. Even your military having sex with children. If you don't get the punchline, maybe you're a moron. You're a moron, ain't you? You're a moron, ain't you? You're a moron. You're a moron, ain't you? You're a moron, ain't you? Okay, look. That means all military can have sex with 16-year-old girls. All of them. All of them. All of them. All. They can have sex with, listen, they can have sex with, girls, 16-year-old girls and boys. Oh, guess what? Let's see how you feel about this. It also means that the gay and lesbian community that's in the military, they can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys. Oh, well, why not? They got a different age of consent set for homosexuals and lesbians? In fact, right here in New York, the age of consent is 17, right? Oh, so that means gay and lesbians can have sex with 17-year-old boys and girls. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Well, they don't got a different age of consent for homosexuals and lesbians. It's the same age of consent. Oh, bombs drop. Boom. It hit different when I tell you gay people in New York can have sex with 17-year-old girls by law. It hits different when I tell you gay and lesbians can have sex with 17-year-old girls. A 50-year-old woman can be in a relationship with a 17-year-old girl. When a gay man is 65, he can have sex with a 17-year-old boy. He can trick off on a 17-year-old boy. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Oh, it's right here in the state of New York. The age of consent is 17. So my question to you is, the age of consent in New York applies the same to straight people and gay and lesbians, right? It's the same age of consent, right? Right. So my next question to you is, how you feel about gay and lesbian people able to have sex with 17-year-old girls and boys by law? You okay with that? You okay with a 15-year-old man having sex with a 17-year-old boy? You okay with that? You ain't okay with it, are you? So see how biased you are? See, it angers you, it gets you angry when you realize here in New York, a 17-year-old boy can be in a relationship with a 55-year-old man. Huh? Oh, it's the law. It's the law. It's the age of consent for all human beings. It's whether they gay or straight. So there's not a different age of consent for homosexuals in America. They share the same age of consent, and they wouldn't have it any other way. If there was two ages of consent, you don't think they'll be protesting? I mean, what's the insinuation? That they're pedophiles? Because they want to have sex with 17-year-old girls and boys. Well, what are you? Some people have a problem with a 17-year-old boy being with a grown man. Well, what is New York doing? New York got the age of consent of 17. So you don't got a problem with a man having sex with a 17-year-old girl. That's what you're telling me. But you do have a problem if a gay man has sex with a 17-year-old boy. You got a problem with that, don't you? No, check yourself. If I tell you no, listen, don't be stupid now. Be real with yourself. That's what you got to do. You got to be real with yourself. If I told you an old man that's 59 years old is having sex with a 17-year-old boy and he's gay, he penetrating a 17-year-old boy, he penetrating them with penis. What you gonna tell me? If he's 59, he penetrating a 17-year-old boy. How you see that? How you look at that? Well, that's what they can do right here in New York. Right here. How you would feel about a 72-year-old woman having sex with a 17-year-old girl? You can't say it can't happen. For money, it happens. These young people go with the money. These young gay and lesbian people with older people right now for the bread. For the bread. Huh? Come on, stop playing, bro. You don't know the game, do you? Man, half of these young people selling their virginity and everything. They're selling it. They're selling their virginity online. Well, yeah. Listen, they getting a bag off of it. You'll see. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to admit that the kids is hustling these days. That they with half of this stuff. Welcome to the 21st century, where half of these kids some of these kids are selling their virginity. I would say what 10% to a quarter of them. In so many ways, even if it ain't financially, they still selling their virginity. Oh, you thought it was just the dudes? It was just the guys. It was just the guys. It was just a guy. It was just a guy. Hey man, look man. Explain these girls and boys selling their virginity. That's what they doing right now. They selling their virginity to the highest bidder. While you think it's just these predators out here. Well, you could say they kind of a predator too. They preying on these old people money. They preying on these old people's money. Oh, it ain't love. It ain't romance. It's not a bromance, is it? Between the gay man and it ain't a bromance between the It's not a bromance between the old man and the young boy, is it? It's a bromance. It's not a bromance, is it? These old men tricking off on these 17-year-old boys right here in Lower Manhattan. That's where it's happening, in Lower Manhattan. I guarantee you, in Lower Manhattan. That's where it's happening. That's where it's happening. It's happening in Lower Manhattan. It's happening in Lower Manhattan. You know where they selling their virginity at? Oh, you think they're gonna be in Harlem? Well, somebody pay them 3 stacks, $3,000. Well, I give you $3,000. I get you a pack of Black and Milds and $3,000. You want a pack of Black and Milds? I get you a pack of Black and Milds and we're gonna get you $3,000. What you think they gonna do, bro? $3,000 in a pack of Blacks, right? The wood tip. We'll get you the wood tip. I get you the wood tip. I get you the wood tip Black and Milds. $3,000 in the wood tip Blacks. I'll get you $3,000 in the wood tips. You know where they're gonna be? In Lower Manhattan. That's where all these girls at. It makes common sense. They gonna hang out, all these 17-year-old girls, and younger than that, 15. Listen, buddy, come on, man. You think I'm stupid? They getting scooped up. Like the 2 scoops of raisins on the Raisin Bran box. 2 scoops getting scooped up. like the Raisin scoops on the Raisin Bran box. They getting scooped up, buddy. Like raisins on the Raisin Bran box, buddy. See them out there making themselves available? That's what they gonna do. They gonna pay $20 to be in somewhere where they can make themselves available. 15 to 17, even maybe 14 even. With all these men of all different colors. It ain't just white people. All of them in Lower Manhattan right now, buddy. I guarantee you that. I bet you $20 on that. That's where they at. Because that's the only thing makes sense. What, they going to be in Brooklyn? Where these dusty dudes going to give them $2,000 in a pack of Newports? Well, I give you 100s. You want some 100s? I'll get you some 100s. I'll get you 100s and 2-pack and $2,000. I get you a bonnet too. I got 2 bonnets at the house. I got you 2 bonnets. 2 bonnets and a pack of Newports and $2,000. Or she gonna go down to Manhattan. That's where they gonna go, man. That's where all them young New York girls at, man. Where you think they at? Oh, in Brooklyn. He in Brooklyn. Where at in Brooklyn? You crazy, man. Man, who gonna do that? You gonna go to the highest bidder. You're going to Lower Manhattan. You're going to downtown, buddy. She going downtown. He going downtown. Am I right or wrong? That's where they at right now, buddy, in New York. They downtown, buddy. Buddy, they downtown. And once they come up one time, that's it. Boom. Now they got a launch pad. They can chill with that person. Oh, you 15, you can't find nobody to let the house you. I guarantee you can. I done been on the streets. I know what I'm talking about. If you 14 to 17, you can't find nobody to take you in. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All she gonna do is text her mom. Her mama gonna file a missing person report, and all she gonna do is text her mom, and it's over with. That's all she gotta do. I'm okay. I'm not coming home. Most black families ain't gonna say. What can they say? They ain't gonna know where you at. She did call. Okay. She text. She called. Okay. What can you do? You can't do nothing. All you gonna do is try to text. She gonna block you. She gonna get a new. She gonna change her number, and she gonna text you when she get played. When they get done with her and she get played, when she ain't got no walls on her vagina, then she gonna call you. She gonna call you when she ain't got no walls. Oh, listen, I'm brutally honest. She gonna call you when the wall's gone. She gonna call you when the wall's gone, buddy. Hey, tell the police the girl gonna call her mama when the wall's gone. Cause you think it's one-sided. You think it's the predators, but she ain't gonna call till the walls is gone. Once the wall's gone, she gonna call home. She gonna call home when the wall's gone. Listen. You see, I'm 100. I know what's going on in the field, buddy. She ain't calling home till the wall's gone. Tell the police them girls ain't calling home till the wall's gone. Cause they think it's one-sided. That's what I'm tripping. They out here playing superhero. When some of these girls don't want to be saved. You playing Captain Save a hoe, literally. Listen, and some of these young hoes don't want to be saved, buddy. They ain't gonna call home till the wall's gone. You can put that in a reality rap song. She ain't calling home till the wall's gone. Cause it's true. That's what's gonna happen. Once it ain't got no grip, she calling home now. Hey, that vagina ain't got no grip no more. She calling home. That's what it is. Long as it got grip, she gonna play the game. Once the wall's gone, it ain't got no grip. If you don't know, once you don't got no grip on it, the wall's gone, buddy. Them walls are gone. Okay? She ain't calling mama till the wall's gone, buddy. Now she used up. Now she want to go back home and get her a little room. Well, we made your room into a den, to a little patio. We made your room into a little den. We made your room into a little den. You can't go home because they made your room into a little den, buddy. Well, we use your room for storage. We packed everything in there. You can't go home because they made your room storage. Now your wall's gone. Your wall's gone, ain't it? Don't get mad, man. I'm telling the truth, man, because these police acting like it's one-sided. These predators out here on their own, man, and these girls ain't calling home till they walls gone. You know how they say, hey, keep going till the wheels fall off. They ain't gonna stop till the walls fall off. They ain't gonna stop till the walls fall off. They ain't gonna stop till the wall fall off. Now you need to hear the other side. It's always two sides of the story, buddy. You always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. You know what's both sides of the story? She with it, buddy. She with it. And what the police gonna do these days? These girls with it. I mean, you can't stop it. You trying to be a hero to a culture that don't even exist no more, where these girls are just victimized. These girls going out here hustling their whole virginity, bruh. Stopping doing everything and just putting it on the market. Now they ain't doing nothing till they get paid. Oh, they'll be home, they'll masturbate, but they ain't gonna give their body to nobody. Because the less they do that, listen, the pervert gonna say, well, did you do this? Did you do that? Have you done this yet? And he gonna find she ain't done nothing. She gonna get more money with the less things she's done. So all she gonna do is sit home and masturbate. Think I'm stupid. Now that's the part of the game that the police don't talk about. Yeah. Oh, you do supposed to worry about it, because listen, it makes a whole difference when a girl putting herself out here, where you talking about the mentality of the people. When you talk about what these predators are and what they do. If a girl put herself out here, you telling me these dirty men have to take the whole blame for the psychology of it? When we know how dirty men are? Okay then, so if a girl putting herself out here, what you think gonna happen? Come on, man. He gonna justify it based on that. He gonna justify it based on she put herself out here. You might not be young, but you're ready to learn. You're not a little girl, you're a woman. Take my hand. You're not a little girl. You might be young, but you're ready to learn. You're not a little guy. You're a woman. Hey man, hey, these pedophiles gonna put on Keith Sweat. Hey, you forgot about that song, buddy. hey, a pedophile gonna put on that song when he grooming, ain't he? Hey, when he grooming, he gonna put that song on, ain't he? He gonna put on that Keith Sweat. It ain't Keith Sweat's fault. Keith Sweat talking about a young woman. Yeah. Oh, but the pedophile he can kind of play on it, can't he? He can kind of play on it, can't he? See, that's the other side of the game, where these black folks can tell you, even down in the South, what we call these cat daddies. These cat daddies start grooming these black girls around 13, 14. Oh, they start grooming them, and you know how they do it? Giving them money, giving them little stuff, giving them little food, giving them little stuff. That's how they start doing it. Give them little stuff, give them little food and everything. They grooming them. They've been grooming them. Some of these cat daddies been grooming these girls, right? Old school. They gonna groom these girls. Oh, they'll wait for them, but you already sexualized them when they was kids. You already thought about them the wrong way. While we're talking about what people think about, let's talk about all these cat daddies that been grooming these girls, these black girls in the community. Huh? Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. They've been grooming these girls, all in the old school. Soon they see a cute little girl, man, you don't think she gonna get groomed by one of these old school dudes? Of course. Yeah, girl, come here, girl. Yeah, listen, here go $15. Here go, thank you. Why you giving me this? Oh, you just a cute little girl. I just want to give you this money. That's how they was grooming them. You want some pizza? Come here. I got a box of pizza. Oh, you so nice. You go get you. I got a paper plate here. Here's a paper plate. Oh, let me go in my trunk and give me a paper plate. Yeah, I'm gonna make. I put 3 plates, 4 plates, so you won't drop it. You have 4 plates. Here's 4 paper plates. Here go 3 pieces of pizza. Oh, thank you so much. He's grooming her. Every culture got a different way of grooming these young girls. And because I know how nasty men are, buddy. I know how they are. A man knows. So that's why it's just crazy for somebody to come out here, because, man, we going to take you back to all this history, even your own country, these nasty men marrying children. You know what I'm saying? Putting whole penis in children. They've been doing it the whole time. That's how you need to update yourself. Update yourself. Update yourself. They've been marrying children this whole time, putting penis in children this whole time. You should feel betrayed. You should feel betrayed that they would do that. You don't feel betrayed. In this whole time, you didn't even know, low key, people been having sex with children around you. Oh, see, you don't entertain the reality, do you? I do. I know I ain't thinking about it in the wrong way, like you would like to think I am. I'm thinking about reality. These girls been getting sexualized. They've been penetrating girls around us this whole time. That ain't what's been going on. Okay, well, they got child marriage, don't they? They've been marrying children. Okay, so this whole time, you see what I'm talking about? This whole time, buddy. If you're smart, you go back in time and incorporate the reality of this. That this whole time in the 90s they was doing it, in the 80s they was doing it. Right here in New York, they was marrying children right here in the state of New York. Oh, you didn't know that? They was marrying children in the 80s here in New York as young as 14. That's the youngest they could get here in New York. They could marry girls and boys right here in New York. Anybody got something to say? Ain't nothing you can say. New York can't stand up on me, buddy. I'm going to sit you right back down. When we realized you too was marrying children. Oh, you thought it was a down south thing, didn't you? Oh, black culture think they do that stuff down south. Them crazy country black people. Them crazy country people. They go down there, they have sex, these bushwhack rednecks. They have sex with their children and everything. Okay, well then explain child marriage in New York. Where from 2011 to 2019, you had 385,496 cases of child marriage right here in the state of New York from 2011 to 2019. That's 8 years. You had 385,000. 385,000. That's almost 500,000 children in child marriage. And even though they got rid of it, guess what? Guess what? Those child marriage cases are still valid. It don't make it invalid because they got rid of it. So it's still 385,496 children in child marriage right now. Boom. Right here in the state of New York, buddy. See, I just became the educated black man, and the half of y'all black folks, especially starting from North Carolina, you was dumb as a bag of rocks. Let's keep it 100. You was dumb as a bag of rocks. Like an animal. That's what you was. And you came out here just sure that your country was doing the right thing, and they was not. And now the black man had to go through all of this. And you want to play like you on my side. I need a bag. I need a bag for you to get your face right. Like we say in the South. In other words, to save face, to get your face right, straighten your face. That's what we call it in Charlotte. To straighten your face, to get your face right, to save face, to straighten your face, you gotta go get the bag. I don't care nothing about you trying to be friends and all of that. No, come on, man, stop playing. I don't care nothing about that. I need a bag for you to make it right with me, and that's for black people. Yes, sir. What you thought? Oh, because you black, you was gonna be able to come over here and kind of sympathize with my oppression a little bit, and think that me and you could be together. Well, I didn't have that plan. I didn't have that plan in mind. I didn't have that plan in mind. I didn't have that plan in mind. Okay? You owe me a bag. You shouldn't have played. Listen. You shouldn't have played with me. Okay? You played with me. You couldn't get me to be a pedophile. Not psychologically, not emotionally, not physically, not in reality. But you was dumb as a bag of rocks about New York, marrying children, and Charlotte, North Carolina still got laws to marry children right now. Charlotte, you still marrying children right now, buddy. Charlotte, North Carolina. You still marrying children, ain't you? Oh, yeah, you can marry children as young as 16 in Charlotte. You can marry children in Charlotte right now. In the whole state of North Carolina, you can marry children right now, buddy. Charlotte, how you gonna be talking when y'all marrying children down there? Cause you dumb as bacon and chitlins. You dumb as a combination of bacon and chitlins. Well, that sound good. Bacon and chitlins actually sound good. Give it a little flavor, huh? Give it a little more bold flavor and zest. Crunchy bacon and chitlins. I think I might try that. You want some crunchy bacon and chitlins, don't you? You want some crunchy bacon and chitlins? Charlotte wants some crunchy bacon and chitlins, don't you? Charlotte. Let's talk about Charlotte. Ain't y'all marrying children? You're marrying children right now. That stinks, buddy. It stinks like chitlins. It stinks like uncooked chitlins. You know what your credibility smells like? Uncooked chitlins, man. That's what your credibility smells like. I know you're familiar with the smell. Charlotte, you familiar with the smell of uncooked chitlins, ain't you? You familiar with the smell of uncooked chitlins? You know what uncooked chitlins smell like, don't you? That's how your credibility smells when you're marrying children. You've been marrying children, ain't you? You still marrying children in North Carolina right now, today. January 11th, 2026, you marrying children right now. What, you mad at me or yourself, like I like to say? You mad at me or yourself? Played yourself, buddy. You marrying children the whole time you yapping and talking. With them bonnets. While you got bonnets on, they marrying children. They got a little girl in a bonnet somewhere marrying a man. She in a bonnet somewhere marrying a man. She in a bonnet right now marrying a man. Yeah. Can't be serious. Charlotte can't be serious. You still marrying children. All these children in child marriages going out to Bojangles. Well, he took her out to Bojangles. She get Bojangles off of DoorDash. So we don't have to go out. Hey, the girl in the child marriage in Charlotte, she eating Bojangles off of DoorDash. Well, I like the steak biscuits with some eggs. Give me the steak and egg biscuits and some grits. He getting a big and healthy, ain't he? He getting a big and healthy. She getting big and healthy. And down there in Charlotte, she eating them Bojangles steak biscuits with grits. Put a little gravy on the grits, right? Put a little gravy on them grits. Put a little gravy on them grits. Yeah. these girls getting married in Charlotte eating off DoorDash and Bojangles. You know she on DoorDash, so she don't have to go out all the time. They don't have to go out. You know they on DoorDash. Hey, you know this dude that's marrying children is on DoorDash, ain't he? Grubhub, DoorDash. He on DoorDash and Grubhub, ain't he? He on DoorDash and Grubhub. He on DoorDash and Grubhub. Hey, DoorDash getting all that pedophile money, ain't it? Because you know he ain't going to be out in public. DoorDash getting all that pedophile money, ain't it? They tricking off on it, ain't they? Tricking off on DoorDash, ain't they? They tricking off on the girl and DoorDash. So he ain't got to go nowhere with the little girl. He ain't got to go nowhere with that little gal. He ain't got to go nowhere with that little gal. Yeah, that's the reality, buddy. You want to ignore it, don't you? I don't. I don't want to ignore it. I don't. I want to ponder all of this stuff. I want to think about all of this stuff. Ordering DoorDash, ordering all the clothes offline. You know he getting all these little cute little clothes. He getting all these little cute little clothes offline for. He doing everything online. Getting all these cute little clothes for her and everything. Yeah, I got you this, I got you that. Hey, you know he's showing her the phone all the time. She done grew up, ain't she? But she's still a girl. Yeah, she looking at DoorDash. She on DoorDash. She know how to order her own food and everything. She done became one of those small little smart little girls, ain't she? She on DoorDash and everything. She looking at him showing her the different clothes she can get. Oh, you can get this, you can get that. Yeah, I like that. I'm showing you the reality of these people that marry children. They ain't just sitting on the couch. They doing stuff. My thoughts is, what are they doing? What are they doing right now? All kind of stuff, man. And that's the reality of America. You don't want to ponder the truth, the reality of those atmospheres of men that have married children. What they doing in their atmosphere right now? Who knows? They probably drinking with them and everything. Think about it. Probably giving a little dosage of alcohol and everything. Think about it. One thing for sure, she ain't gonna be a normal girl. She ain't gonna be a normal woman. No, she ain't. I guarantee you something gonna be off with them girls that get married. Man, something ain't gonna be right. Something ain't gonna be right. Think about it. Something ain't gonna be right. You ain't got no leaders. You ain't got no leaders. You can pick anyone you want to pick. Ain't none of them talking about this. That's why I tolerate none of these chicken head black people sitting around acting like you got some head honcho, some thug or gangster to compare me to when none of them said nothing. Okay, so then I win, buddy. Whether you like it or not, I know you all. Listen, you the lame that's playing with me, right? So then you hate it so bad that I'm above everybody, and I am. I'm above your whole community. Based on rank and quality, on facts that I'm the only one that talked about this child marriage in the full capacity and context that I have. The full capacity and context. I'm the only one that talked about it. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one that talked about it. You show me one person. I challenge you to show me one person that showed you from 1929 you was marrying children. You made new child marriage laws while Donald Trump was the president. You made new child marriage laws, right? Okay. Show me somebody who put it all together. Oh, they're going to talk about the subject. You can find people talk about the subject. But they still fumble when they haven't talked about the full capacity of it. That's why we got to get rid of the lames. The lames are the lames. They ain't got nothing but foolishness in their mind, right? Right. It's exposed, right? Them are lames, bro. I don't even pay. They are people that don't even exist to me. They don't even exist to me. A person like that don't exist, right? It's not a real human being. It's a cartoon. You know, from 1929 to the present time, they've been marrying children. Look at that. That's almost 100 years. Show me somebody who put the whole timeline of child marriage together in one timeline. And also successfully educated the community. Show me one person that did it. You can't find nobody. Oh, they might have put a little article out there, but the bottom line is, it's because of me that you know this. No matter what their attempts are, they don't get you. How much credit you get for an attempt? I'm the only one that successfully, I'm gonna piggyback off of what I just said. I'm the only one that also successfully revealed this to the American community. You show me one person that got it through to the community. Show me one person that's talking about new child marriage laws. The people that's talking about child marriage, they ain't talking about the new child marriage laws. No, they ain't talking about it. They ain't talking about the new ones that was passed while Donald Trump was president. Find me somebody that's talking about child marriage laws while Donald Trump was president. You can't find it. And that's that, buddy. That's how I rank everybody. And you can't accept it that it's based off this information, but this information creates a whole different reality. And in that reality, with nobody knowing about it, and these Americans playing with my credibility all the time, I rule over you based on your own standard. Based on your own standard. Now, it'd be one thing if you didn't care. But obviously, you think you do care, don't you? You think you do care, don't you? You think you do care, don't you? You think you do care. You think you do care, don't you? You think you do care about children. You think you do care, don't you? Well, why you think you do care? Explain why you're marrying children. Why you think you do care. You think you do care, don't you? I know where my head is at. You know where your head is at? Marrying children, which none of us have ever thought about. You ever thought about marrying a child? America has. Russia don't think about marrying no children. You know who has? You know who think about marrying children, marrying a child. You know who think about that? It's funny, buddy. Listen, your country sat right here while Donald Trump was the president. Trump was the president, and y'all was marrying children. Y'all made new laws to marry children while Trump was the president the first time, right? Y'all have been marrying children in the present time we live in. Starting in the present time with Trump being in office the first time. Oh yeah, that's the modern time that's the modern day time. Just in case you say, well, that's how it used to be. Oh, really? Really? That's how it used to be? That's how it used to be. Okay, well, the nail in the coffin is when you made new child marriage laws which renewed this whole lust for children. If you had not done that, you would have the luxury of saying that's how we used to think as Americans. You can't say that's how we used to think as Americans when you passed child marriage laws 7 years ago. Less than 10 years ago, you passed child marriage laws. It was a year before COVID. That's what makes it relevant. The 2019 was the year before COVID. That's when you passed new child marriage laws, buddy. That's the 7th hour. It don't get no more relevant than that. It doesn't get no more relevant than Donald Trump was the president when it happened. Oh, he's the president right now. He's the president right now. Say it like that. He the president right now. Hey, these white girls get a little funk on you. Say it like this, white girl. He the president right now. Put a little funk on your white girl, man. He the president right now. Hey, man, listen, listen. Why nobody ain't saying that the new child marriage laws were passed while Trump was president? Trump didn't say nothing. You gonna try to Jedi mind trick and say, oh, well, Trump didn't have nothing to do with it. You trying to Jedi mind trick, ain't you? You can't Jedi mind trick Vader, buddy. I'm like Darth Vader. You can't Jedi mind trick me. Jedi mind tricks don't work on Vader. I don't care if Trump helped pass it or not. He was in the White House, wasn't he? He ain't say nothing about it. Big as his mouth is. Why he didn't say nothing about it? Why didn't Trump say nothing about it? He talks about everything else. So yes or no, does Trump talk about everything else? Trump talks about everything else, right? Why he didn't talk about child marriage laws? Huh? Why he didn't talk about child marriage? He talk about everything else. He talk about LeBron James and Roseanne Barr, random stuff for a president. He talk about random things, don't he? Okay, so why he didn't talk about child marriage laws when laws is to a president what a dog is to a bone, what a bone is to a dog. Laws is to a president what a bone is to a dog. So if you see laws passed, you as a president, you see where I'm going with this? It's his field, right? Why Trump ain't saying nothing about laws and he a president? He's political, right? He's political. He's political. He try to be political, don't he? He's political, ain't he? Okay, why Trump didn't say nothing about laws and he's supposed to be political? He's supposed to be political, right? Political. He political, ain't he? He political, ain't he? Why Trump ain't say nothing about laws and he political, man? Can you tell me why? Why Trump ain't saying nothing about it? See, this is the real conversation. Trump can't say nothing about this, buddy. Trump can't say nothing about it. What Trump gonna say? What can you imagine him trying to make a valid excuse about it? Either way it goes, you're gonna either act like you don't care and we're gonna win right there, or you're gonna give me some crazy stuff and it ain't gonna make sense. Either it's a win-win situation, because as soon as you act like you don't care or try to make a valid excuse for it, I win. As soon as you try to make a valid excuse for it, I win. I can tell you how this would go anyway. I can already tell you how this will go. If you try to make a valid excuse for it, I'm going to win, according to the American public. If you try to act like you make a valid excuse for it, I'm gonna win. If you try to act like you had nothing to do, you don't have nothing to do with it, you don't know what's going on, you don't really care, it's no way you can win. It's no way you can win. You act like you don't care, you act like you got a valid excuse for it, or you act like you didn't really know about it, or you give me some reason, or you act like you don't care. That's really what the separation is. You act like you don't care, or you try to give me a valid reason. That's the two right there, right? Well, I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? I win. You try to give me a valid reason, I win there. That's the two options you got. You can try to act like you don't care. Well, I win. Or what's the other thing you could do? You can either act like you don't care or try to make a valid excuse, right? Right. Right or wrong. That's the two situations. That's the two options Trump will have if I talk to him. He either gonna act like he don't care to a certain degree and just shrug it off, or he gonna try to give me a valid excuse. He gonna try to give me a valid excuse, and I'm gonna win. When you try to give me a valid excuse for why they marrying children, and then while you was president, he said nothing about it. So for the stupid people, whether he helped pass the laws or not, he was the sitting president. He was the president. He should have advocated against what happened immediately. He does everything about everything else. He talks about everything else. So ain't it funny? Trump didn't say nothing. Quiet is kept when it came to child marriage laws. July 1st, 2019 to the present time, quiet has been kept. Your president can't even face me, buddy. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Your president can't even face me. Your leader can't sit down with the prophet. Ain't nothing he can do. If I sit down and ask him about child marriage laws, he either gonna go one way or the other. He gonna try to act like, well, it is what it is kind of attitude. It's nothing we can really do about it. It is. What you mean you ain't nothing you can really do about it? Ain't nobody gonna protest against us getting rid of child marriage laws altogether, right? There's not gonna be anybody advocating against us getting rid of it, right? Right. So there will be no resistance. Do you realize that? There will be no American resistance. Is somebody going to be out there trying to stop us from getting rid of child marriage? So it'll be easy to do. It'll be easy to get rid of altogether. Why Trump ain't done it? You ain't going to have no resistance. So who's going to resist Trump getting rid of child marriage? So it's not like, oh, you're going to have this big resistance. Oh, who's going to resist it? See, listen, man. Among real men and real women, and that's all I care about. Listen, I win. Ain't no real man gonna sit up and say anything, because I'm gonna be esteemed as great, based especially from a black man who used to seeing Malcolm X without no money. Malcolm X didn't have no money. They showed that in the new movie about Malcolm X. He didn't even have a job. Okay. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't have no real money, did he? That's why he was at the Lorraine Motel. And I'm not saying that in a funny way. He should have been in another motel, because the black community should have been funding him and helping him. They shouldn't have had him out there on Front Street. See, the truth is, your country don't know how to raise a king. You don't know how to raise up a king. You don't never put your king on Front Street. That's like putting your biggest chess piece out there up front. You don't never put your biggest chess piece on Front Street, which means once you see you got a leader, and we had famous black people at that time, Sidney Poitier, all kind of black people that was famous and had money and everything. We did not rally money together and put put Martin Luther King Jr. out of harm's way. You didn't do it. You didn't put, you can even say Malcolm X. The American community does not know how to rise up a king. You don't know how to raise up a king. You don't know how to raise a king. You think you do. You don't know what you're doing. I watched you play with me. You didn't know what you were doing. See, the truth is, when you find someone on these calibers, you have to respect it. You don't have you're used to coming in and taking credit for it. And taking credit for what a person is. You can't do it with me. You couldn't do it with Malcolm X. You couldn't do it with Martin Luther King Jr. You notice that? It ain't people that can just say, well, yeah, I taught him all he knows. I taught him all not really. You know what I'm saying? Not because they were both in a lane of their own, right? It was nobody that really could take credit. Okay, so when some people can't take credit, they become control freaks. Because they want to some way take credit for who you are. And you can't take credit for who I am. Imagine you taking credit for who I am and you ain't know nothing about child marriage laws in America. You ain't know nothing about it, did you? Okay, so how can you take credit for who I am? I'm the only one talking about it. How you going to take credit for that? That's 7 hours. How you going to take credit for it? You can't. You ain't do nothing. So then what you have to do is realize I'm a made man, right? And you ain't got nothing to do with making me. And you think you do, but you don't. Okay, so then you're going to send me through these little ghetto gangster tests, and for a man of my caliber, all you're doing is getting God angry. That's all you're doing. All you're doing is getting God angry, trying to act like you helping me or you testing me or you putting me through a test. Because with a prophet, you're going to think you need to go find me out. You don't need to find me out, sucker. Y'all need to find me out. No, you don't. You thought you had somebody that went way up here and he fake, right? How you feel about that now? I done came way up here and I'm real. and see, listen, half of y'all can't come to terms with it, can you? You thought for sure you had some charlatan, no pun intended. I'm from Charlotte. You thought you had a charlatan, didn't you? a Charlotte charlatan. My brother is a charlatan, ain't he? Yes. Tremaine is a charlatan, ain't he? He's a charlatan. Tremaine is a charlatan. Tremaine, you a charlatan, ain't you? You a charlatan. Because the truth is, listen, buddy. Listen, just give me credit. I'm the first one to probably put that together. If I made a diss song to a charlotte, it would be called Charlatans. All these charlatans. It would be called charlatans. Look up the definition of charlatan. I know you don't know what it is. Go look up half these charlatans don't know what a charlatan is, do you? Go look up charlatan, sucker. Go look up the definition. Because listen, you came out here talking about pedophilia. The truth is, Tremaine was mad because of his wife. He was going and telling my family that I slept with his woman. You know what I'm saying? So you got played by a charlatan, and then you an extension of that charlatan. So you're charlatans. You're an extension of a charlatan. You're a charlatan. You a charlatan. All them charlatans. You down there marrying children, ain't you, you little charlatan? You a charlatan. Well, how you talking about pedophiles and y'all marrying children, little charlatan? You little charlatan. You a charlatan, ain't you? You ain't gonna get through to me, buddy. I know you're mad. That's how we know you ain't real. Cause you mad cause I'm winning. You mad cause it's the truth. We know with the truth, when the truth come out, you don't accept it, do you? That's how you a charlatan, buddy. You a charlatan. You a charlatan. All these charlatans. You ain't get through to me, buddy. You ain't get through because we don't care about that. Let somebody come my way, buddy. And I'm gonna get a strap too. Let somebody come my way. Gonna get bugged down. You're gonna get bugged down, buddy. You're gonna get bugged down. And I gotta listen, going ahead, you're gonna get bugged down playing around me. Cause I definitely am going after the strap. I ain't playing no games with you. All these charlatans. All these charlatans. Oh, I get it. You thought you was the soul community, did you? You the soul circus full of soul clowns at the soul circus. You know the soul circus go through Charlotte, don't it? How fitting that the soul circus go through Charlotte. All them clowns, them soul clowns down there. You a soul brother clown, ain't you? You a soul brother, you a soul sister clown, ain't you? Listen, well, hey, I call it how I see it. You came out here for Tremaine out here marrying. Listen, his wife was mad at me. He was mad at me because of his wife. That's facts. So you're not a charlatan. You part of the soul circus, ain't you? Well, I'm a soul circus act. I just didn't make it all the way. Like Charlotte never makes it all the way. You a charlatan, man. Stop playing, bro. Hey, I'm the first one. Give me credit. I'm the first one that put it together. Charlatans. Oh, go find me that soundbite. Go find me somebody that says charlatans. I guarantee you can't find it on the internet. Go find me one person. I give you $20. You can find me one person that says charlatans. You can't find it. You can't find it. It ain't get through to me, buddy. You want to convince me of that? Listen, every time you was throwing that just now, man, listen. All that psychological stuff. I already know, buddy. Listen, I'm sensitive in purity as I pass through it. You understand, buddy? Listen, that's it, buddy. I'm sensitive in purity when I pass through it. You try to slap it on, but it didn't work. Listen, you did it the first time, you did it the third time, the second and third time. It ain't gonna work. Because I already know what you're doing. Why would I give into it? Or why would that be my desires when I'm talking about you? Make that make sense, bro. Why I'm talking about these charlatans still marrying children in Charlotte. I just destroyed your soul city, your chocolate city, your main chocolate little dumb city. It's smoking, ain't it? It's on fire, ain't it? I'm burning that chocolate. I'm burning that chocolate. I'm burning all that chocolate. That chocolate smoking, ain't it? Well, Charlotte marrying children. That chocolate smoking, ain't it? Like burnt brownies. You ever had a burnt brownie? Everybody have. You had burnt brownies, you try to eat it. You try to eat Charlotte, didn't you? It ain't worth it, is it? That hard burnt, you know how bad burnt brownies taste? Ew. You already know what I'm talking about, don't you? Come on, you done had some burnt brownies a little bit. You a burnt brownie, Charlotte. Charlotte, you a burnt brownie. You a burnt brownie. Mommy. You gonna say, Mommy? They burnt my brownies, Mommy. 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 You little burnt brownie. Burnt your little chocolate city. Ain't no love, man. You old charlatan. Ain't no love, man. You ain't get me, buddy. Listen, I already know where my mind is at, buddy. That didn't get through? No. And for you to think that while Charlotte is actively marrying children shows you the bozo that you are. You belong at the soul circus. You a bozo. There's a Russian saying from Russia, when the circus leaves, the clowns remain. That's 7 hour. Oh, I started learning Russian sayings. There's a Russian saying that says, it's a Russian proverb, if you will. When the circus leaves, the clowns remain. When the soul circus leaves Charlotte, the clowns and charlatans, the charlatans are still there, ain't they? Tremaine's still there, the charlatans are still there, ain't they? Charlotte got potential that's never fulfilled. You a charlatan, man. Hey, tell the truth. Charlotte got a whole bunch of potential, but it's never fulfilled. A whole bunch of charlatans. That's what you are. Oh, you thought you was gonna sacrifice me and get fame for Charlotte? Well, you wouldn't make it even if you got success. You're too unprofessional. You're too unprofessional. It's not about being black. I'm funky. I'm funky. I got the funk way more than you do. It ain't about funk. It's about unprofessional ratchet chicken heads in Charlotte. And here's the punchline. They presented that to you like that's funk. They presented that to you like it's funk. How you feel about that now? That's 7 hour. Hey, you feel like it's funk? Drip, swag, sauce. You feel like it's funk? It's not. It's not funk. That's what everybody realized. Listen, the cautionary tale of Charlotte is most of that wasn't no funk. Half of it was ratchetness and unprofessionalism. That's why they never got a major record label. Atlanta got a major record label. All these other cities, Memphis and all the surrounding metropolises, great metropolises surrounding Charlotte, all the great metropolises, all got major record labels. Why Charlotte ain't got one? Because they prided themselves on being ratchet. Oh, that's one of the most ratchet cities that we take seriously. You took it seriously. I don't anymore. Charlotte is a ratchet. Listen, Charlotte is a ratchet city full of charlatans, and they marrying children. And they marrying children right now in Charlotte. Oh, you can go down to the courthouse downtown. You know what I'm talking about? Right down the street from the bus station. You can go right down the street from the bus station to marry a child. You can go right down from that Bojangles at the bus station to marry a child. Right down from that bus station with the Bojangles and the Bojangles at the bus station. You can go right down from there and marry a child. Yeah, buddy. I did it. I got you, didn't I? Checkmate. You married children. You little charlatan. You thought I wasn't going to get you, didn't you? I fried you like Bojangles chicken, buddy. Oh, I got you. Oh, you don't feel gotten? You marrying children in Charlotte. You little bushwhack little charlatans. You little bushwhack little unsophisticated little bastards. You little country little bastards. Ain't you marrying children, you little country little bastards? That's how you do it. I do you like your mama do it. I calm down before I beat you. I calm down before I beat you, so I don't beat you out of control. I calm down, now I beat you. I calm down, now I give you a whooping. See, that's what good parents do. They don't whoop you right away. You know why? Because they wait till they calm down. I'ma still get you. I still got you. I just calm down. I just calm down so people wouldn't think it was a race thing. Ooh, ouch. Ooh. I calmed down so they wouldn't think I'm a racist. Which, based on all you did, some would see why I would be a racist. But I calmed down. And I whooped you once I calmed down, buddy. Boom. Yes, sir. That's how you do it. See, I had to do this with the black community. If I would have whooped you right away, especially me being a prophet and all this stuff would have happened, you would have went crazy. Because God would have still been doing what he's doing right now. Then, right? If I would have came out against you alone, I had to play chess. I had to let people see that I'm just as black as you. I'm just as much, I got more funk than you. And now I can make my move. Because now people see, oh, okay, well, we seen he a brother just like y'all, like they Charlotte brothers. We seen he black just like they black. And look at all the stuff he done been through. Okay? So I couldn't make my next move on you like I'm making now until people seen I was good as a black man. Now they see that, right? They done seen all the journey and all of that. They done heard it and everything. Yeah, now I can make my move on you. Without people thinking, oh, we need to defend Charlotte. No, you don't. They marrying children. They ignorant of that. All them politicians can't see me. No Charlotte politician, no mayor, no governor of North Carolina can't see me. You marrying children. That's a 7 hour. Yeah. That's your politicians. If Trump can't see me, how Charlotte politicians gonna see me? Oh, they around eating chicken and hanging with the community. Oh, that's what they gonna be doing. That's what they gonna be doing. Networking, sitting around farting, eating chicken and farting. Eating fried chicken and farting. Got the whole room funked up with chicken farts. Got the whole room funked out. It's funked out, ain't it? Man, what happened to here? Sitting around farting, eating chicken. Your mayor can't even have this conversation. Do you realize Charlotte mayor can't even have no conversation with me? The North Carolina governor can't even have no conversation with me. Huh? And drum roll. North Carolina Freemasons can't have no conversation with me. Oh, we know you the ones that was behind it. Charlotte Freemasons. Charlotte Freemasons. Why y'all marrying children right now? January 11, 2026, all these Charlotte Freemasons, including Tremaine, who are Charlotte Freemason. Why y'all, listen, why y'all didn't come out, listen, how can you sit up and marry children talking about a pedophile? Guess what? Your country was having sex with animals by law. In West Virginia, they still having sex with animals. You little charlatan Freemason charlatan. You a charlatan Freemason, ain't you? You a charlatan Freemason. Not a charlatan, a charlatan. So you don't know the difference between a charlatan and a charlatan, right? I'm a charlatan, right? You're a charlatan. You're a charlatan. Well, I didn't see it that way, but... You're a charlatan, ain't you? Yes, you are. You're a charlatan. That's why nobody never made it in Charlotte. That's why nobody never made it. You talk about the baby barely made it. The rapper, the baby barely made it. And here's the thing. He's not even born in Charlotte. He's born in Cleveland. He ain't from Charlotte. He ain't born in Charlotte. So you still haven't had someone born and raised in Charlotte that put on for Charlotte. Jodeci didn't put on for Charlotte. Nobody never knew. Most people didn't even never know. The whole country was listening to Jodeci, and they didn't even put on for Charlotte. You telling me that ain't fumbling? That's fumbling. Jodeci was all out there in all the chocolate cities, DC, Baltimore, everywhere. Everybody was listening to Jodeci. Jodeci didn't even make any significant songs about Charlotte. Name one a Charlotte song Jodeci made. What song? Petey Pablo is from Raleigh. He wasn't from Charlotte. We talking about Charlotte. We talking about the Charlotte City limits. The Baby almost fumbled his whole career talking against gay people at a Rolling Loud concert. And my thing is this: why was the Baby talking about what gay people doing at a Rolling Loud concert? And you supposed to be a straight man. Well, why you worried about what gay people doing? That's what's suspect right there. That's a classic example of a Charlotte person. Why are you smoking weed at a Rolling Loud concert as the Baby from Charlotte? But you start talking about gay people giving head out in the parking lot. Who mind would go there as a straight man? I know you're high because it's the Rolling Loud concert. And all those beautiful women, you gonna be thinking about what a gay man doing in the parking lot? What gay man, what straight man do you know that's gonna be high? I know you done smoked 2 and 3 strains of weed before you got there. I know he was high. But this is what a Charlotte dude when he get high. Oh man, you ever been around Charlotte dudes when they get high? Hey, keep it 100. You ever been around Charlotte dude when they get high? They think they bigger than life, don't they? Hey, a Charlotte dude get high. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Show me why the Baby got on the stage and started talking about gay and gay people and what they doing in the parking lot. Make it make sense, buddy. Make it make sense when you a straight man, but your mind worried about what gay people doing. That would have been the last thing on my mind. In fact, it wouldn't have been even the last thing on my mind. It wouldn't have been on my mind at all. The Baby get on stage talking about women's vagina. If your vagina don't smell like, if your vagina smell like water, okay. If you ain't giving head out in the parking lot, if you ain't gay and not giving head out in the parking lot, what, bro? That's where Charlotte dropped the ball, buddy. That's fumbling, bro. That's fumbling. He almost, let's not forget, he almost lost his whole career because of that. He almost lost his whole career. And the truth is, he haven't really recovered. Not fully, because even though you give an apology, you said what you said. Then he gonna talk about gay fans. I know a Charlotte dude, you was never worried about no gay fans. You did not even acknowledge that's a lie. That's a lie. Man, I know how Charlotte dudes is. He never acknowledged no gay fans. That's facts. All you did was be quiet on them people. You ain't acknowledge them as your fans. No, until you got in trouble. Now all of a sudden you got gay fans. Because somebody else talked to you and all of that. I know the attitude of a Charlotte person. A Charlotte person don't want nothing to do with no gay people. No Charlotte thugs. Most Charlotte thugs and gangsters gonna say they stay in their lane, we don't got nothing to do with them. Basically that's the attitude. Okay, but you got gay fans. I doubt it, because you've been around a lot of Charlotte thugs and gangsters, and they ain't gonna collaborate with no gay people. They gonna talk about it like they over there, as long as they stay in their lane over there, we ain't worried about it. That's the attitude. But is there a collaboration where they actually fans? You ain't gonna think that. He wasn't thinking that. He tried to dress it up, talking about he was talking about whether people are out in the hotel or getting the hotel. No. He talking about if all he distinguishing basically was if people out there in the parking lot is dirty gay people, as opposed to gay dudes going to a motel doing it the right way. He trying to express to do it the right way or whatever. That's foolishness, man. He was trying to expose gay people and failed. He was trying to expose gay people and failed. That's what happened. And some would say, because I'm from Charlotte, he was basically trying to insinuate me. because of all the stuff, the politics. I'm smarter than you thought. Damn. Some would say he was even paid to say some of that to make me feel humiliated for what I was doing back in some time back. That for him to even mention the gay element and him being from Charlotte and I'm from Charlotte, some people that would say that's the only reason he said that, to down you and to influence people against you. As far as gay and this and that, and where everybody look at gay is something to be ashamed of because you getting influenced and now people see you as the man, right? So he got to put you down. See how deep the politics go? And it failed. Either way it go. If that's not the case, because it was too funny for him to be talking about gay people. But I can see if somebody gave you a bag to say something, to throw off my politics, to throw off my influence, to make people feel ashamed, you know what I'm saying, to even embrace somebody with that background, whether they was active doing that or not, right? Right. Okay, so, but it failed, and he almost fumbled his whole career doing that. And you can't find me no New Yorker, you can't find me no dude from LA that's gonna smoke weed and be at a weed concert. If anything, I'm gonna be talking about weed. I'm gonna be talking about my first time smoking weed. That's what people want to hear. That part. If I'm at a Smoking Loud concert, the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is, okay, yeah, my first time smoking weed. Y'all want to hear my first story with the first time I smoked weed? You know what I'm saying? You want to hear a couple stories how it was when I first started smoking weed, and some funny stories and everything. Sometime I was tripping you want to hear the first time I really was tripping and laughing when I was smoking weed? Everybody gonna be like, yeah. Think about it, they high too. Like, yeah, we want to hear it. He should have been talking about his first stories of getting high. That ain't lame. It's perfect for weed smokers and stoners. Talking about the way a woman's vagina smells, that can make somebody nauseous while they high. Man, I don't even want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear what gay dudes is doing while I'm high. Who wants to hear that while you high? You at a Smoking Loud concert. You want to hear you want to talk about a woman's vagina and what it smells like? And you halfway high, bruh. You want to talk about a gay dude in the parking lot and what he doing with somebody else in the parking lot, and you high, you don't want to hear about nothing no Charlotte person is talking about. You see how they be thinking? You see how Charlatan thinks? None of that stuff we want to entertain. Anybody want to entertain that? No. That's why I'm trying to show you. Y'all know them Charlotte dudes is half of them off and they awkward and weird. That's the truth. That's why I got out of there at a young age, and that's why you don't see none of that on me. They can't stand it because I left home I went to LA when I was 20 years old, and I broke all that Charlotte weirdness and that funniness. I broke all of that off of me. All of that loser, sucker boy kind of energy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I broke all of that off of me when I went to LA and I went to the West Coast. When I was over 20 years ago, I went to the West Coast over 24 years ago. And I went in 2001, December 2001. I was right before New Year's Eve. I was in LA. Okay, that's 24 years ago. 2001 is 24 years ago. Okay, I was in LA 24 years ago. That's why I'm like this. You take it for granted. I've been left Charlotte. Okay, the only reason I went back there is because I fell on hard times. I wouldn't have went back. I would have tried to go visit my family eventually, but the only reason I kept going back to Charlotte because I was spinning my wheels out here in America. That's all it was. I left Charlotte 24 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Now you see me differently. That's why I'm like this, man. I know what they all about, man. Half of them are charlatans. Half of the charlatans are charlatans. You a charlatan. Okay? And ain't nobody gonna save face for you. It's a brand that everybody want to help, but if you pay attention to the brand, it does not fulfill its potential. Charlotte does not ever fulfill its full potential. And you know I ain't lying. They ain't got no follow through. You can see all them black people down there. That's what's gonna get you. All them black people gonna make you feel love and like it's potential till you live down there and realize how ratchet they are, even towards their own people. They don't love each other. Go down there to Charlotte. They don't love each other at all. And you're going to change your own opinion once you realize, well, they don't even love each other as black people. That's why we like this. They ratchet, they ignorant, and they don't care about each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's what goes on. That's what goes on. See, Charlotte is almost in danger of being like a Midwest city. In the Midwest. It is. It's not like the South. Charlotte is more like Midwest. It's more like pay attention. Look how they move. Look how they carry themselves. Now, back in the day, Charlotte was, if you went to Charlotte in the 80s, if you're a New Yorker that went to Charlotte in the 80s, in the early 90s, to the mid 90s, mid 90s and back, you enjoy Charlotte. If mid 90s and forward, that's when it started getting strange. Because Southern people didn't handle the changes in the street like other cities did. Charlotte became weird and haywire when the streets started changing and everything, and it got worse. They didn't handle it well. They're not handling it well now. When me, I just was built different. I could stand on my own without my family. As you can see, I don't have no family in New York City. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no family in California. I'm just one out of a million, man. You ain't gonna find nobody built like me from Charlotte that stand on his own, because a Charlotte person ain't gonna leave Charlotte because of their family. That's why you ain't leave. You want to be close to your family, but you ain't doing nothing. That's the whole reason. And then your family gonna tell you not to leave Charlotte because they want you to have enough money. You ain't gonna never have enough money to come up here. You have to come up here and dig in and work and get up on your feet. That's how you got to do it. And that's what they was too scared. Your family gonna tell you, oh, don't go up there if you ain't got no money. Well, you ain't gonna never have enough money with the cost of living up here. I mean, to live decently, you gonna still be in the hood. You still gonna be in the hood. So it was never, you ain't gonna never save enough money for the cost of living. You was never gonna do it to where you can live in Lower Manhattan on the money you got. What about the job you gonna get? What kind of job you gonna get to continue to pay for that place? So you was gonna be in the hood coming to Charlotte, from Charlotte, and you're not built like that. You're not built to come from Charlotte to the hood of New York. Now you can talk about the people that's here from Charlotte. I'm aware of that, but who are they today? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come up here with dreams. They didn't come up here and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just blended in with the community. And I still shine. I still show. Listen, I still shine and came here and shined above just coming up here and living. Because I'm not ignorant. I mean, if it's a Chinese bus that comes up here to Charlotte, there got to be people from Charlotte in New York. That's common sense. Somebody will come up here and get a job and blend in with the community. But you did not stand out like you intended to. Charlotte didn't stand out and like they intended to. I did. I still stand out like I intended to, without intending to. I didn't intend to, but I do. So, it's just like, man, understanding. Charlotte deserved this chastisement because you still think you got some OGs in Charlotte over me, and you can't be serious. It's nobody there that's over me. It's all in your mind for those who you respect, but that person isn't over me. How they over me? That's all I'm talking about then. You just another person. You just another thug and another player in the game that is irrelevant to my life. And that's how it is. But based on the location that me and you come from Charlotte, somehow you're supposed to be an OG over me, but you ain't never done nothing for me. You ain't never gave me no opportunities, because my idea is this: if you call yourself an OG, you're supposed to give opportunities. If you an OG that don't give opportunities, what is it worth? You got two definitions of OGs: the old heads and old people. That's all you could be talking about. But when we talk about certified OGs that was famous in the game, or had a legend in the game, or over the whole people in the community, how you gonna be over the whole people in the community and you don't provide opportunities? I'm not the mad rapper. Listen. People play you like you the mad rapper. Yeah, I go back with that understanding of the culture. I ain't the mad rapper. I'm showing you why they didn't make it. So how I'm mad at their not success, them not being successful. Imagine that. Me mad because they not successful. Can't be serious, man. Charlotte came up here and they continue to come around here, but they do not stand out and shine. And because they mentality. Everybody know what I'm talking about. Females know what I'm talking about. It's a certain kind of mentality. And it's not black. You think it is. It's a certain subculture where people pride themselves in Charlotte on being ratchet. And you learn it from other people. You learn it from your family. And you wind up responding to life the same ratchet way your family and the community of Charlotte do. That's all it is. Me, I went all around the country. Charlotte ain't got no seniority over me. I'm not one of their own. I'm a nationwide soul. Once I'm a nationwide soul, I'm like an all-star in the Olympics playing basketball. I'm an all-star. I'm with the best. I don't represent a certain team. I don't represent a certain city. I'm an all-star, national all-star playing basketball in the Olympics like that. As a matter of fact, the best Jordans I had was the Bugs Bunny Jordans. I got the Bugs Bunny Olympic Jordans, the Olympic Jordans. I had those. I had the Olympic Bugs Bunny Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Fresh out the box, you know. But, yeah, man, you know, people got to realize, man, you know, you can't come out here and play in the field and you thought I was doing that. Now what you think? Like I said, I've been out here since 2001. Since 2001, okay, and what I got to show for it is my ability to survive in any situation, and that's all that matters now. See, with all my travels, people say, you know how black folks is. When you ain't got nothing to show for it, see, I can challenge everything you say. It don't bother me. I can tell you your criticism against me, but right now, you know what? Survival is more important than anything else. And you're barely doing that, buddy. You're barely surviving. Charlotte never got no superstars all the way to the last days. All that talent down there. Oh, they got talent. Oh, it's talent down there in Charlotte. But they ain't gonna never leave Charlotte. They ain't gonna never leave and come to the hood and start all over in New York and have a humble beginning like a black person. And the thing is, you would have got love from a black neighborhood. If you would have came to Harlem or Brooklyn, ain't nobody messing with no black person from Charlotte. That's why I don't got no problems. You got scared of what your mama and them was telling you. You got scared of what everybody was, all the stuff you seen on TV. And the truth is, you ain't got the same heart that I do to come up here and come in the hood and live up here and get respect. You didn't do it. So it ain't no. So whatever you do down there, we don't care because we know now. You are exposed for being scared to leave Charlotte. That's why they didn't make it. Because like I've explained before, Charlotte needed to have submitted to either New York or Atlanta to make it. They did not submit to Atlanta. They did not submit to New York. And ain't no way you're going to make it on the East Coast not submitting to New York or Atlanta. They did not do that. And there's different ways to submit. You got to submit and leave Charlotte and come there. That's submission. And get there and get money and get opportunities. You got to submit to their grounds. You got to submit to New York grounds or Atlanta grounds. You didn't do it. That's why you didn't make it. That's why Charlotte didn't make it. Charlotte was in the middle of New York and Atlanta, and they still didn't make it. You tell me why. And what I'm pointing out is they don't have a major record label in the middle of New York and Atlanta, and you ain't got a major record label? How is that possible? And don't listen. Don't forget all them New Yorkers down there in Charlotte. All of them down there. And y'all ain't got no major record label. You got all them New Yorkers in your family. That's ridiculous. I'm going to tell you what it is. They scared to take chances. They family influenced them to be scared to take chances. And then they too family oriented to leave. To make opportunities for their family and to make opportunities for themselves. They mama and them going to hold them back. Some of y'all ain't even weaned. Grown man ain't weaned from your mother. You ain't weaned from your father. You still hanging around Charlotte and know you should have been left. Because you ain't weaned from your family, your mama. You still hanging on her breast. You ain't, listen, you get teary-eyed just the thought of leaving your mama, don't you? You get teary-eyed just from the thought of leaving your mama. Charlotte get teary-eyed just from the thought of leaving their mama and their daddy and their family. Well, that's what grown men gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. And ain't no way you're gonna get the same respect and command the same respect still at the beginning point. Still at the beginning point. There's no way in the world you're gonna command the same respect as me, buddy. Because I done came here and got down in the hood. I done got jobs here. I done worked here. I done been to LA, back to California. I've been all around, and ain't nobody gonna respect you acting like you can get it out the mud, but you couldn't in Charlotte. You couldn't. You didn't. Okay, let's settle it. You didn't get it out the mud. So all the little movements down there, it didn't work. Let's settle that. None of that worked. Which means you should have submitted to another city. You should have submitted to New York or Atlanta. That's what you should have did. You didn't do that. You didn't submit to that. You didn't submit to them. You know, and it's no disrespect to, like, because people say, well, what about your cousin S Dub, or Young Sweet, or 3? Y'all call 3. I don't have no disrespect for him, but his baby mama was asking about me, right? And I think that influenced why me and him wasn't close, because my other little cousin Jermaine came back and told me, oh yeah, his baby mama was asking about where the boys with the brown eyes. I got brown eyes, right? She was asking about me. Young 3, or who y'all call S Dub. This is no disrespect. This is just facts. This is just what it is. Jermaine came to me and volunteered this information that she was asking about the boy with the brown eyes. Okay, so I'm thinking smart. I mean, I'm just thinking on street intuition that he might have caught wind of that, and that's why he didn't embrace me, because of a female. See, so in my family, I've been dealing with people, these females asking about me. You know what I'm saying? Or my brother, his wife attracted to me, and that's why these things happened the way they did. S Dub, his wife, his baby mama, his first baby mama asked about me. Where's the boy with the brown eyes? My cousin Jermaine, he came back and told me. Big Jermaine, light-skinned Jermaine with the dreads. No, yeah. He came back and told me that around what? 2008-ish, 9-ish, around there. 2008, 2009. This is how far back that goes. So then if S Dub found that out, you think he gonna embrace me? He ain't gonna be a hater, but he ain't gonna embrace me. So I ain't saying he hated on it. But some people ain't got the discipline to say, okay, my cousin got talent. It wasn't his fault that my baby mama was asking about him. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't his fault. Some people gonna sit back quiet and do their own thing and not even holler at you because of her. Because of what? So you see how I'm always dealing with these females, where it influenced people against me. I put that on all my credibility. God knows that's the truth. And I'm not, that don't do nothing to S Dub. That don't shine no disrespect to him. But his baby mom was asking about me. And they got back to me from Jermaine. Jermaine the one told me. And I even Instagrammed him about it. I even asked him recently, do he remember that? I gave him a whole message on it, on Instagram. So I put that out there to him. So, you know, it ain't nothing that I hid from him. I confronted him on what he told me and brought it back to his memory. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that possibly influenced why S Dub. Because people say, well, his cousin was Dub. Why he ain't never holler at him? That's what happened. That's my personal view. I'm not saying that for fact, but come on, man. This is his first baby mother. My cousin Jermaine is coming back and telling me that, oh yeah, she asking about the boy with the brown eyes. No lie. She asking, where the boy with the brown eyes? Now, if he heard it, you gonna think about this, especially in a black community or in neighborhood. If my cousin heard it, who else heard it? How I know Dub didn't hear it? S Dub didn't hear it. How I know he didn't hear it? How I know Bernardo didn't hear it? And then formed his opinion off that. She asking about him. And now you don't want to have nothing to really, you ain't gonna hate because you real. I'm not saying Dub ain't real, but you gonna kind of, I mean, think about it. If your baby mama asking about your cousin, are you gonna still, some people ain't got the discipline to embrace that person. So he ain't do nothing wrong, but you just don't embrace me. And that's why I think it didn't happen. Because I feel like this, if Jermaine heard it, who else heard it? And told Bernardo about it. So he was the only one heard it. That don't even sound right. It sounded like they was all in the room talking. That's what it sounded like. In that particular family, no disrespect, that's what they do. They sit in family, they rooms and talk. So they just like, I think that's what it was, and somebody else heard it, or they reported it back. Or Jermaine might have told Bernardo about it. He might even told him about it, or said it, threw it up a little bit in his face. I don't know. because he was throwing other shots at him. Jermaine was throwing other shots like, oh yeah, Dub is just a pretty boy. I mean, I don't know why he said that, but that's what he was telling me, man. So I just sat back and didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But that's how he was talking like that. So if he said that much to say he just a little pretty boy, not like as to say he not a street dude at all. But I don't get off on that. You know what I'm saying? I've heard another person say, Mantique is really the thug in the family, and he's not, and S-Dub wasn't. I think he played his position as he played it. You know what I'm saying? And I can see that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't formed that opinion. But I think somebody else heard it, man. Heard his S-Dub baby mom. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never talked to her in a funny way. Let's clarify that. I ain't never say nothing in a funny way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that type of dude, man, that attract people's females without it being my fault. It ain't my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's why it was kind of quiet on that side, and our music never came together. Cause I had talent. I know he heard, cause it was just, I was just that talented. Everybody knew I was into the music, but he ain't never come to me. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's the reason why. Man. It took me a long time to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was thinking about it, cause dude, his baby mama asking about me. Okay. Okay. Well, how that happened? You know what I'm saying? And who all heard that at that time? And how many times was this said? And how many times was this insinuated? You see what I'm saying? Without him knowing anything about it or him hearing about it. I mean, come on, man. That's all I'm saying, man. So, I think that's the reason why me and him never got together. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason. I think it influenced it. I'm going to say I believe that influenced it, where he just didn't even think about me. You know what I'm saying? It could have been like that. Well, I'm just not going to think about this person. You know what I'm saying? Even though that person got talent. So that's the only thing I can explain, because I reached out to him before. I called him and congratulated him when he was doing good. When he was on the radio, I heard him on the radio. I called him because that's my family. So I called him and said, yeah, I'm congratulations, everything, woo, woo, woo. Right there. Got off the phone, everything, just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I show love. He can't say that. That's why if people could see me for who I am, I kept it 100. I've always kept it 100. I reached out to him and called him personally. When I heard him on the radio or whatever, heard his name on the radio, came out, reached out to him, said, yo, congratulations, etc., etc. I ain't asking for an opportunity. I just saluted him and gave him respect for it, for what he was doing. And I walked away. I ain't even follow up the next day and say, yo, can we do some music? I ain't follow up at all. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just how my position was. You know what I'm saying? So that's just for people to say, well, why that didn't happen? They're going to blame me for it. You know what I'm saying? But I did reach out to him concerning his music. You know what I'm saying? I know he heard about me. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to him and talked to him about his music and said, that's good, whatever, congratulations, whatever. I went out my way to reach out to him. He never reached out to me. He never went out his way to reach out to me. And that's it. Now, that's it. It's what it is. I'm just clarifying everything. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what happened. Like, Jermaine definitely said his baby mother was asking about the dude with the brown eyes. That's just what it was. Just like that. Said like that. Not my name, the dude with the brown eyes. That's what it was. And he knew she was talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Because they was from the north side, I'm from the west side. And he connected that to me. He gathered enough information to know that was me. That wasn't nobody else. And it wouldn't have been appropriate with any other man anyway. You asked about a dude with the brown eyes, and that's his baby mother. You know what I'm saying? His baby mother asked about a dude with the brown eyes. That wouldn't be appropriate, whoever it was. But my cousin was sitting there, Jermaine. He was eyes and ears, not for me, but eyes and ears to the situation, and that's what he told me. He told me she was asking about me, asking what a boy is with the brown eyes and all of that, man. So, man, I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm from the north. I was from the west side of town. He's from the north side of town. I ain't say nothing to her. I ain't say nothing out the way. That's facts. I ain't do nothing with her. I'm just saying that for the record. But this is what I went through down there, man. You know what I'm saying? My brother thought I was having sex with his wife and everything, and that's ridiculous. My brother's wife was attracted to me. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go through all of this because of that. So you see more than one case where, man, the bottom line is people's wives, women are talking about me and thinking about me or attracted to me or asking about me and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So I'm just clarifying things because people will hear through the grapevine all my cousin being famous and cousin and all of that. I'm just clarifying that situation. You know what I'm saying? As far as I go, what I think. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I reached out to him, so you can't say I was hating. You can't say I was stupid. You know what I'm saying? I called him from downtown, went at the bus station on my way to work. When I used to work at the hospital, called him when I heard him on the radio, listened to the radio, whatever. Called him and congratulated him like that. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to him. He never reached out to me. That's the story. You know, that's how it was. So, you know, that's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do, man. So, you know, so you see my position. All right, so. Yeah, man. So, you know, like I said, man, as far as America, this spiritual war is going on and everything. And we maintaining our spiritual position, our spiritual warfare position.